Oh yeah, paint the whole world with a rainbow. Good evening or good afternoon to you guys in the stateside. Welcome to the Type 1 Radio Lounge with me, Steve Gaddafi, and
me, Sonic, all the way from Brighton and Hove in England.
In England. And we also have on the line Swami Shabira. What's your full name, Swami? I forget.
Just Swami is fine. I'm probably
Swami Shabira Gengar or something, isn't it?
Namaste,
Swami. It's actually Swami Shivananda Giri.
Okay, well, we also got our regular buddies, Mr. Reset.
Hello.
Hello, and of course, Free Energy Jay Lawson.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Hey, Jay.
Hey.
Right. So this week's topic, we've got Alan Abadasa Green, hopefully coming on soon, who's just sent us a message to say that...
Aren't we sponsored by the letter S today?
Yeah.
Yep. Steve, Sonic's P, isn't he? So...
Now, see, when I read that was just such a cute and nostalgic thing for, the end of Sesame Street. Brought to you by number 5 and the letter S. It was a lovely thing.
Hello.
there? Hello.
Hi, sorry, I just clicked the wrong button. Sorry. Oh dear. Right. Start again. Hello, everybody.
So is it just you over there, Steve?
Yeah. It's next, get it home because it's snowing here. It's actually snowing here in England, and hi, Nick. Sorry for that. Wrong button.
Okay, I'm going to add Alan to this conversation because he's just on, so...
Yeah, he just sent me, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to add him to our...
Here we go. He's been rung.
You adding Alan?
Yeah.
Ah.
It is.
Mr. Think Book, Alan.
Yes. Another thing sponsored with the letter S.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did write down a couple.
Is that Alan Abadessa?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's almost
Oh. Spoke once. Nice to see.
Say again, Reset.
Oh, I was just saying, with the S-themed show, I did write down a couple S things that if we have time, we can get to at some point. I don't know if anyone else did.
Yeah. I got some strange news.
strange sound.
Strange sounds. Yeah, I've uploaded some of those to the studio page.
Okay, good deal.
One of them has already been debunked by Fine Chick today. But fuck it, we'll play it anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's say hello to Carolyn. Are you there, Carolyn?
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Hi. I got it on just in time. I didn't know if we were going to connect this all through Skype. Yeah, this Skype individually.
And is Alan there? His picture's there.
Picture's there, but he's not the...
Okay, he might be sorting out his microphone or something. Alan, if you can hear us, whenever you sort it out, give us a shout.
Namaste, Carolyn.
Hey, hi, Swami. What's going on, hon? Hey,
I'm just hanging out and smiling a lot and sitting with my eyes closed.
I was listening to you guys chat, and I am kind of curious. Why are all Swamis? Why don't you just go by like Joe or Tom or Mark or
Well, because the English have that covered. We had some of those.
Well, you had to come up with something creative that nobody,
No, when it comes to the names, there's meaning to what is being said that is not immediately apparent to the Western mind because they don't think in that way. It has more to do with archetypes and symbolism through the Sanskrit language.
Symbolism in Sanskrit, that's two S's.
What's that?
That's two S's. I'm counting the S's.
Yeah.
There you go.
Talks about
Sanskrit.
Swami. Yeah.
But
It makes sense, though, but...
okay. From the Sanskrit language, okay, Swami. All right, just the word Swami to an English translation would best come out with the word master. That's what that word means. But it means a lot of other stuff that's not included in the English word master. Shivananda is a combination. It represents two different things. Shiva, which is the ancient term for the absolute, the source of everything, which is not only stillness, but the movement issuing forth into the creation, which could not exist without this original stillness, which is Shiva. Ananda means bliss. When one is in that state, that Shiva state, that stillness, the conscious experience is one of bliss. There's nothing better. Everything else you thought of before falls down before this type of experience. And the Giri is the Swami order that I belong to and have been initiated into, is the Giri order of the Swamihood of India. Folks may have some knowledge of Paramahamsa Yogananda, who came from India to the United States back in the 20s, and he taught what has come down to be known as Kriya Yoga. But it's a different sort of thing. But he and I are of the same order. He was a guru. His guru, his instructor was a guru. And that's what that means. So when you hear all this Swami blah 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 blah, there's really stuff behind that, but it's not apparent if you're not conversant about that system. Does that make sense?
I mean, hey, different names mean different things. I mean, look how many people named Dick are dicks. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Cheney, hey. You know,
he's got
doing his job every day.
I just was thinking maybe, with the Swami thing, because after, you get most Western people, we get past Swami and it just becomes Swami. We just Westernize everybody anyway.
Yeah, that's why I rarely repeat.
Well,
go into all that title stuff,
The big Hindu Swami that wanted to hook up with me called me that I was Gunga Ma. So I thought maybe you just told me I was just messed up or something. I don't know.
Okay, Alan, can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Am I here? Alan up at the screen is with us. Hooray!
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I figured out what was wrong. Hey, guys. It's good to hear you again.
Yeah.
Hello, brother.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I got the Type 1 copy version, the Type 1 Radio Lounge's copy of the Think book the other day there. and I immediately turned to Steve Wilner's page, and I was not disappointed.
I love Steve Wilner's work.
He's the Don, isn't he? He's just amazing. The Hallways of Always. I've always loved that one.
And Rita, are you there with us, brother?
In the background.
Okay.
So, Alan, how did it go on Tuesday?
Oh, it was so good. It's funny you mentioned Steve Wilner. We actually had, we were supposed to have 9 authors, and at the last minute, one of the guys, Chris Myers, he got really sick and he wasn't able to make the trip.
Okay.
He lives a few states away, so it would have been at least like a 3 or 4 hour drive for him, and he just wasn't able to make it. And I had promised everyone 9 authors, so what we did is we had Steve Wilner Skype in.
Oh,
Okay.
And it's always good to hear him. And so it was just all around. It was fantastic. We had a full house, great presentations, a lot of fun. You know, the thing is actually, what I realized shortly before we started was that there was no way the event could live up to just having everyone there, because a lot of the audience members were different people that I've seen posting online, and just the conversations that happened and the way to have everyone in the room together. I mean, it was just amazing to bring these heads together. Such a pleasant experience. So the show was fantastic, but having everyone together, having that sense of community, that was even better.
Yeah. No, well, I've had on my MP3 player all week your Red Ice interview, the show you did with Freighter last week, and a few the very first Jake Coetzee thing you done on Red Ice, and that was just all on my MP3 player all week. It was fantastic. How did Andrus' Radio 8 Ball go?
Oh, great. He's an excellent musician, so he actually, aside from hosting that segment of the show, he also sang and played the guitar for us, and that was really great. Hopefully we have we had people filming it. I haven't seen any of the footage yet, so hopefully we have something I can share with everybody down the line, because I'd like for everyone to be able to see what happened there.
So how many people were there? What size venue was it? The drilling company, was it?
Yeah, it's like 44 seats.
Right.
It's a small space, but we were full, and we had people. So the seats were full, and then we had people standing in the aisles, and then we put all the authors up on stage. I mean, we probably had, for a 44-seat venue, we probably had at least 60 people there. Way over capacity.
Fantastic. Who were the authors then? Are you going to let us know who they were?
So myself, there was Andros, there was Douglas Bowles, Peg Carter, Kevin Halcott, Kyle Hunt, we said Andros, Rammer Martinez, and like I said, then Christopher Myers was supposed to join us, he couldn't, and we had Steve Wilner Skype in.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, it was just, and then we had like people who came to the show, excellent questions and feedback from the audience, and just like a wonderful experience. I'll be honest, I'm a bit burnt out from it all.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised you're with us tonight, because I thought it might have been quite a lot to sink in, if you pardon the pun.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. I probably spent most of the last 2 days sleeping, catching up on sleep, and this is my first day coming out of my cocoon, so.
Excellent.
So how long was it on for then? On the night?
It was supposed to be a 3-hour event, and at some point we just kept going. After the 3-hour point, I said to the audience, "Hey, if anyone had wanted to go, head out, but we'll stay." And we probably stayed like another hour and a half.
Wicked.
That sounds like the Type 1 Radio Lounge, actually. We end up Skyping all night sometimes, and it's a bit But I mean, it's a fantastic book. It's like book I've read. I'm actually reading it in the way it should be read, by back to middle to front to middle again to back to front. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Steve Wilner was first the Labyrinth of the Psychonaut. It's just fantastic. And then, well, I'm going to save Jake for last, as he's the sort of he's the granddaddy, isn't he?
In a lot of ways, yeah. You know, I tried to structure the book as for someone who wasn't familiar, to try and put the more introductory chapters first, so as it goes, it gets a little deeper into the topics, and just tried to base it on the content, and then also just to mix it up a little bit. If there were similar topics covered by similar, if different authors covered similar topics, of course from different perspectives, but I tried to spread those out. And so if someone's completely unfamiliar, I would suggest reading from beginning to end. But if someone already knows what they're getting into, yeah, absolutely. Most of the guys that are in the book or that know what's going on here, they pop around. They read, this chapter, then this chapter.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Steve Wilner was the only one that I definitely had heard of, but, obviously I had heard about Jake Kitchee and all the rest of them, and Goro Adachi and all these people. Because, they're all on Red Ice on the first, I think it's definitely the first year. It might even be, the second month.
Oh, yeah, Jake and Steve were early ones, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And Goro's been doing this a long time, maybe even before Jake.
Yeah.
There's such a history here, and to get these guys to basically say where are they at now, it's amazing to see how their ideas have changed and how their theories have developed. So I was so glad that these guys said yes. And
is Jake actually staying in Winnipeg now then?
Jake, I believe, he should still be there. I mean, I know he travels back and forth a little bit, but I think he lives there most of the year.
Yeah, that's a great chapter. I've read that one with the songs. The guy his name Jim Sanders.
Jim Sanders, yeah. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, he's trying to actually open a school in Winnipeg. There's this shaman that he refers to, Juan Flores, who he refers to in his chapter.
Yeah.
He had gone to South America, studied under Juan Flores, and he's trying to open a school in Winnipeg to teach some of the information, this ancient ritual and ancient wisdom, to bring it up north.
Yeah. Are those his songs that he's written?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, the poetry, yeah. Yeah, some of them are a bit out there. Because we actually live in the land, me and Nick live in the land where Winnie the Pooh was actually written.
Yes.
We live within 5 miles of 100 Acre Wood. It's quite, the
acoustics
pile up.
on the bridge.
Are you serious? See, okay, so this is amazing because they say that Winnie the Pooh was actually named after Winnipeg.
Okay.
So there's this history there of the Canadian connection. You guys live near 100 Acre Wood, and then I just had somebody come. Doug Bowles came into New York, and he came in near Grand Central, and the first thing he wanted to see when he got to New York City was he asked if I could show him the New York Public Library. It's a very famous. I'm sure everyone's seen images of this huge building with the 2 lions out front. It's in Ghostbusters and tons of movies.
I know the one you mean. It's got the big staircase going up to it.
Correct. Yeah. So we were a few blocks away, and he's like, "Oh, can we go see it?" We walked over there. You know what they had on display was the original Winnie the Pooh doll, the handmade Winnie the Pooh doll was there, and we just thought it was so funny, that connection. So it's great that you guys also have a Winnie the Pooh connection.
Yeah. Well, tonight when I knew you were coming on, sort of thing, I obviously went and read your chapter, the Cosmic Folk Art one.
Oh, wonderful.
And I was actually, when I was listening to Prater's show last week, when you were going on about the synchronicities of 1998, I mean, that was actually the year my kid was born, sort of thing, and it, you know, I had a complete paradigm shift that year, sort of thing. But then when I read your book, I read the quote you make about Judy Wood.
Yes.
And how the story you wrote in '98 had a thing about Cheerios in it.
Yeah.
And well, Judy Wood came and done a talk in her hometown. She stayed with me, my wife, and the first thing she got out of her rucksack, her bag, her backpack, was a packet of Cheerios. Because she didn't know if the English people would know what Cheerios were, so she was going to show them, and the reference to what you referenced and the thing. It's just, I say no more. The synchronicity is just too weird, man.
That's amazing.
But fantastic, yeah. I mean, that's mad how you, I mean, wow. That just came straight out of the air then, into your head in '98 to write about snacks going to bring down the World Trade Center, and then it happens.
Yeah, and actually...
Can't you write about something nice?
I didn't add this in there, but actually 1998 was the year I graduated high school, and my high school prom was actually held at the top of the World Trade Center.
No way.
Yeah, there was a restaurant up there called Windows on the World. It was a famous restaurant up there, and that's where my prom was. In 1998. That's actually really funny. I never thought about that.
Yeah, '98 was quite a year, I must admit.
I don't know if I had any Cheetos that night, but...
Well, over here we call them cheesy Wotsits, and when you eat them, your fingers turn yellow.
Right.
Is that the same with Cheetos, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, they're probably the same thing then. Oh. Yeah, we weren't allowed to eat. Judy wouldn't let us eat them because she was using them in our talk, our lecture.
The prop.
The prop.
It's,
And I noticed she took them home with her as well, I noticed.
That's actually really smart of her. Like, I wouldn't have thought, if I traveled to England, I wouldn't have thought to bring Cheetos with me. But I guess she's spoken to enough people who maybe ask the question, what is, you know...
Yeah, she's a very, very thorough lady.
Oh, incredible. Incredible.
Have you got the Where Did the Towers Go book?
No, I've listened to a lot of interviews with her, and I've looked at her website intensely, but I have not had the chance to look at her book yet.
Yeah, it's quite a tom, full of geeky sort of, physics stuff. But
I'm currently going through it at the moment. I'm sort of reading a chapter and then having to wait a few days to digest the information because it's just quite intense, but equally amazing.
I can't find my phone. Sorry, my wife's trying to call in. I can't find my phone.
If anybody wants to ring in the show, the call-in number is 424 65 6. I'll start that again. 42.
Hang on a sec, Nick. Whilst you're on the subject, caller 774. We know you're there, and hello.
Hello. So the call-in number is 424 675 8315. If you want to ring in and talk to us, lovely people, about all things to do with the letter S. And maybe at this juncture we'll just play a little tune, a little smoke break. Here we go. A little Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel.
On charge at what now, won't it? Fuck.
Yes, it will, Stephen. It will charge.
Will it work?
Yeah. So we're back from that lovely smoke break with the beautiful sound of Simon Garfunkel and the Sound of Silence. More S tunes coming up later. Steve, can you?
Yep.
Did you get a question off?
No, I'm just going to ask. What is your question, darling? Alan is waiting for you.
and then the phone went off.
She's got a statement, so this is going to be real fun. Right, go ahead. She is gutted she's not here to talk properly.
This is like anonymous.
Is that your statement? Okay. Alan, what do you say to that?
Say the statement again. She's not here to talk properly.
She is gutted, which means she's not happy that she's not, because she's actually at work tonight and she would like to talk to you.
Who is this?
That's my wife. I'm Steve, and my wife's Spy Chick.
Okay. Well, I had a similar situation. Was that last week on Fraterex's show, where I didn't get
Fraterex,
to,
I heard it.
I sort of at the end of the call we ran out of time, but I would love to speak to your wife anytime, and please give her my best, and we'll definitely do this again.
Yeah, well, we've got your Skype thingy, so maybe she can give you a private call. Did you hear that, darling? She says, yay! Try shouting through the phone. Did you hear that?
No.
No. Well,
nothing there.
well, I'm going to just leave her on the line so we can just chat. Do you want to say anything else, Deb? Bye, Chick, sorry. Okay. So, anyone else who's on the line got a question for Alan? I feel that we've been hogging him slightly. Anyone? Caroline? Swami?
Jay?
I just walked back in the room. I'm sorry, I'm stuffing in my mouth. Hey, Alan, your book is fantastic. I've got everybody here reading it over here in Columbia, Missouri. They think it's awesome. I tell them they got to make sure they buy them, and I want to know when you're going to put out an audio version. Everybody wants to read it while they're driving.
You know, that's actually...
You can't do that in 26, though, can you?
Oh, yeah, but you can have a DVD, CD version you can listen to, and then you look at the pictures when you redo it at home, on the laptop. Besides, most people around here drive around watching shit in their car anyway.
So, Alan, how would that work then?
Well, I think it's a great idea. Maybe we can get some of the authors to read their own chapters like they would for, some of them have their own podcasts or things like that. I'm sure we could work something out. Maybe they could read some of their own chapters and just turn it into an audiobook. I think sounds wonderful.
Well, then you could even add some of your best interviews to it. I know I was trying to talk Jim Mars into that because some of his best presentations are even better than his books, and he has some bozo read his books that they're just not as electrifying when you don't hear it in the author's own voice, You could even have a thing before you kick off the CD telling people to send you questions that you will answer on the CD with their name, and people get all excited about that.
No, that's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, is that Rita? I hear Rita's voice. Hello, Rita.
Well, you guys have to get me to come on.
Yeah, we got Alan's on talking
Chatter.
about awesome book. In fact, I'm getting it out of my drawer right now. I had to hide it in the drawer, Alan, because everybody kept trying to borrow it. I said, buy your own damn book. But that's how good it was. Everybody wanted to look at it, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That's really exciting. We had I got to tell you, I just the reaction has been so positive that I'm flattered, honored, and encouraged to just keep doing this because the reaction is just so wonderful, and I even knew, when we started it, it was just like, hey, maybe we'll put something together. Let's see what happens if everyone wrote a few pages. Very, just how the idea started, and then it was for me maybe 2 months in as the articles started to pile up a little bit, and then I was looking it over and trying to figure out how to organize it, and I'm reading them all over, and suddenly I just realized, oh my God, we have something really amazing. So I just can't wait to keep doing this and getting, hearing people's feedback. And the only thing I want to throw out here is actually, please, anyone wants to contact me, I'm encourage that. Just give me time to get back to you because, I will try. I try my best to respond to everybody, but it's a little overwhelming. So if you send me an email or something, I will get back to you. It probably just means like 3 weeks later.
Hey, you got to remind people that there's another one with a similar name on Amazon. Yours is the Sync book featuring 26 authors on synchronicity, edited by Alan Abadessa, right? Green, Myths, Magic, Media, and Mindscapes, and it's kick-ass. I'm telling you that. I'm really getting pissed because people are starting to crease my pages. All right. Anybody creasing my book, you're gonna have to buy Alan. You're gonna go out and buy Alan's CD. I'm telling you, it's gonna be ready soon, right?
And maybe we can put a little shout out to everybody listening to go to their local library and order the Sync book in. And yeah, I'm sure they'll be able to do that. And then that spreads the love even further.
I got my copy pretty quickly, I must admit. I think it came the next day. Free, it was brilliant.
Hey, so can I pick mine up again?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, the thing was, Alan, Nick got the book round, but I'd already ordered it on Amazon the day before he brought it. So we've got two.
Well, that just means you have to give it to somebody who you think needs it, you know?
Yeah, no, I've got somebody in mind for that as well. I won't telling you, but it's a damn good yarn. This is the guy.
Oh, it's got great stuff. I mean, you got great people in here. I mean, you know, you got, Alan, why don't you tell us a little about who was the coolest people you had to deal with? I mean, you got Christopher Myers, you've got Jennifer Palmer, you've got Jake Colte. I mean, geez, you got tons of people in here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some of them, you know, I've known pretty well for the last few years, and some of them I only got to know better through this process. Like Steve Wilner, I was just a really big fan of his work, and we had minor interaction here and there, but nothing really major. And then we started talking when the Sync book started happening. He sent me an email. We just started talking. We spoke on the phone, and then I actually got to meet him last summer. I happened to go out to the West Coast, and we just managed to work it out that we got to spend a day together. And it's just, I mean, it's things like that where you're able to make a face-to-face. That's why this event, this past Tuesday, was so incredible.
Yeah.
When I went out to the West Coast last summer, I got to meet Steve Wilner. I got to meet Andras and Jason and Douglas and who else was there? Crystal and Justin Morgan, who did the cover. He has an excellent chapter in there. He also did the design for the cover. And Michael Schatz, like amazing people. Some of these guys I had been very friendly with.
Michael Schatz's chapter's brilliant, isn't it?
His work is, I love.
Far out, yeah.
And you know what? Michael does an amazing thing where he manages to really challenge a lot of people's expectations.
Yeah.
But he does it in a way that's simple and down to earth, but just really, I think, challenges a lot of the stuff that's being put out right now.
Challenge, I think, is a good word. Yeah. And is that true that DC stands for Detective Comics? You know, like the Spider-Man DC comics. That
Detective Comics was a comic book they did years ago, and that's Batman's first appearance was in an issue of Detective Comics.
Oh.
But no, I don't think that's what DC stood for. I don't think that's what their company name stood for. I'd have to look that up, but
yeah, because I'm on his page now about the Batman being the sort of dark and Superman being the light, because he lives in Gotham's dark and Metropolis is light. Great stuff. But I did not see the. I mean, it's always been a sort of a thing about the homosexuality of Batman in the TV series with Adam West and Burt Ward, wasn't there?
Yeah,
I've actually read that into it before.
Right, and what he's doing is like, I don't know. I'm sure you guys see a lot of stuff online where people are putting out where this is some sort of agenda, right? Where they're trying to, encode homosexual, I don't know, like brainwashing into media. And his thing is that, for one, he's coming from a point of view of he's certainly not ashamed of what he is, and at the same time to show that how much of it is also intentional or unintentional, where there seems to be something that we think of a lot, and it's not just homosexuality, it's all sexuality, where we've come to be ashamed of it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And this is ultimately, I mean, for me, I think this is like the most important thing we can get. If someone out there is, struggling with coming to terms with their own sexuality, whether that's homosexuality or heterosexuality, just the idea of where does this fit in? It's such a huge part of a human existence, and if we're going to spend time being ashamed of it or thinking of it as this shadow area, this is a bad thing, we're missing out on a huge part of the human existence. So to come to terms with our sexuality and to find empowerment in it, I think is valuable for everybody, no matter where you fit across the spectrum.
Yeah, and what we've all got to remember is that we are divine being, so it doesn't really, everything is here in the oneness, and yeah.
Foul mumble, Sonic. Everybody's feeling comfortable today. Everybody needed that. I just went out. I said after eating the banana, I had my potassium fix, and now I'm having my calcium liquid, so everybody's in good shape. Alan, where are you at?
I live in New York, where the event was held. We held the event in Manhattan. I live in Queens. I don't know if that how familiar people are with New York City, but there's like 5 sections of New York City. I guess Manhattan is its most famous, but did you ever see the movie Coming to America?
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy,
Yeah.
Okay, you know where Eddie Murphy works at that burger place?
Yeah.
That's a few blocks from my house.
No kidding. So you're gonna start dry icing your old cookers, huh?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Lion King to come to town.
Alan, there's 5 boroughs.
The band in Coming to America, when they go to that fundraiser, and see that band, Sexual Chocolate. Such a great film.
There's 5 boroughs of New York City, isn't there? Basically, Brooklyn and the others.
Yep. Right, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Bronx, Staten Island. Absolutely, yeah. So I live in
a great Beastie Boys album.
Have you always been a New Yorker all this time? I'm sorry to hear that.
Why are you sorry to hear? I was born and raised here. I love it.
Oh, I just like to tease
You're a native New Yorker.
Yeah,
everybody has to tease New Yorkers. You guys have everything there. I would love it. 24 hours a day. I'm a night owl. I would just go insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'm looking at the Wikipedia for Coming to America. The restaurant was called McDowell's.
McDowell's.
And it says the location of the restaurant is 8507 Queens Boulevard in Elmhurst, Queens. And I live in Elmhurst. That's a few blocks from my...
We've got a street here in Brighton called Elm Grove. Wow, that's synchronicity.
But, yeah, I mean, New York, it's funny, I get a lot, sometimes I hear people talking about, the idea of trying to get back to nature and how people who live in cities are, trapped in the system and how the cities are sapping energy from people. And I'll admit there are days where it does feel that way, but ultimately I always have had an issue with that when I hear someone say this, because there's nothing quite like being out in a forest or being out in nature, absolutely. But what I think a lot of people don't realize is that the city is nature also. You know, this is as much as it's planned, and we could say, oh, look, the Masons laid out this street, and there's all these different, you know, things that people have encoded, or street numbers, and of course there's tons of advertising, and yet there is a natural order that comes about, and there is where, you know, they call it the urban jungle or the concrete jungle. It really is that. And the guy who came here for our event on Tuesday, he came from Idaho. You know, it was a much more rural area, the heartland of America, and he came here, and that was his thing, is he realized how, he kept saying, it's so alive here. He didn't realize, I think there's this common idea that the city is this cold, sterile place, but it's just full of life. It's an ecosystem. If you went to the rainforest, you're surrounded by insects and animals and plants and trees, all these just living things all around you, and you step into that, and what's so amazing about it is that you become a part of that ecosystem where you're interacting with it. And it's the same thing here in New York. There are days where it's rough, and then but if you learn to appreciate it as an ecosystem, it's pretty amazing.
Well, it's certainly natural for New Yorkers to live there, so therefore it is nature.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
You know, we become our environment, don't we? We definitely do.
But that's humans. We adapt.
Yeah.
We catch these things in the air, which are called synchronicities as well, which is just another amazing thing. See, with people living in close proximity in New York, do you think that's why it's... because I believe that's what it's like. It's a lot of people live very close together, and that's why it's quite a creative place, isn't it? There's a lot of plays and artwork comes out of New York that we just all know and love.
Exactly. I mean, there's just something to it, and again, it can be a struggle, but it's also a lot of times that struggle inspires us to do great things. And you know, I've lived here my whole life. What I have noticed, just like anyone else, when we talk about things like the police state and this sort of rising empire stuff, yeah, I mean, I definitely feel it here. They've clamped down on a lot of things, and in some ways, I think it has hurt a lot of the artistic movements here in New York. Yeah. But ultimately, you know, again,
the fair rate thing as well's not helped, has it? The sort of the convergence of sort of poor people as artists in New York, and especially in the 70s, when you did sort of like throw out the disco scene, the rap scene, and the punk scene all in the same, you know, from 1974 to 76, these three movements came out of like one block of New York, I believe, didn't it?
Right.
So, you know, all the loft parties and stuff like that, and the CBGB's club, and the poor black people couldn't afford to go to these places, so they just made their own thing up in the streets and in the parks and stuff like that, didn't they? And that's where rap music came from. Amazing.
Sure, yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, think about it. It's creativity coming out of hardship.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't afford to, like you said, you can't afford to go to the club, you make your own music in the street. To me, that's the most poetic thing. You know, if you just consider that on a larger scale. So as we're getting, you know, all this sort of police state, New World Order shit coming down on us, at the same time we're inspired to turn that around and make something out of this.
Yeah. Well, on that subject, Alan, were you there on 9/11? Obviously, you were, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was here.
Yeah, what do you want to tell us a bit about that day?
Well, I mean, I was sleeping when it happened. When the first plane hit, I was asleep, and I was living at home. My mom came into the room and said, you know, like, get up, you know, a plane just hit the World Trade Center. And I was sort of like in that half awake, half asleep state, going like, well, that's weird. You know, it's like, oh, second plane hit. I'm like, that's, you know, like in that like half asleep moment, you're like, that's so weird that you'd have 2 accidents like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then I just sort of like got out of bed. I'm like trying to figure out what's going on, and then you turn on the TV, you're bombarded by images, and within a few hours, the whole city smelled like smoke and burning, like that just heavy burning smell. So for the next, few days, it just smelled like a fire. And I would have, I had for the next few weeks or months just dreams of, every time I'd go to sleep, I'd have dreams of burning buildings. And, so it's definitely that, it's a trauma, it's that, we all talk about this trauma-based mind control. It definitely was a traumatic thing. But what I've come to realize later in my life, if you guys have the Sync book, you look at that, I'm going to give you a page number here. Page 313. You're going to see the High Priestess Tarot card, which is the Statue of Liberty between the Twin Towers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this, so a number of people have mentioned this idea that on 9/11 you have this sort of encoded ritual. Now, whatever, if that means some, evil cabal of sorcerers, or if it just means that these are the archetypes that emerge again and again and again throughout all of recorded history, that could be up for debate. But ultimately, the idea that this is there, when I went out to the West Coast last summer and we were all talking at the cabin, we all shared our experiences from 9/11, and I said about how my mom had woken me up that day. And Jason Barrera, whose chapter that is, he said to me, well, you realize that's like the Great Mother. So the idea of the mother waking you up that day.
Oh, wow.
Right? And what has the 9/11 event spurred?
Yeah.
A lot of this, where we're talking about trying to find truth. And everyone, what does everyone say? Wake up, wake up. It's like we're trying to wake our consciousness up. This event, while it has plenty of negative aspects, it also has encouraged millions of people around the world to wake up. Our mother woke us up.
Yeah. It was like it was almost like they were supposed to do it badly, or how the official story was so far-fetched that people weren't satisfied with that answer. So thought, well, yeah, what did happen then? And then that led them on to other very interesting subjects that also give them clarity again in their mind of the true extent of the synchronistic existence that we all abide in at the moment.
Was it Jennifer Palmer who wrote about the destruction of the towers before it happened, and sort of shot like you did with the Cheerios thing? And she actually went down to see the disaster after it happened, about an hour after it happened.
Yeah, she said how she kept writing. In her chapter, she talks about how she kept. She had like a poetry journal and different pieces of artwork where she kept depicting this scene happening.
Yeah.
And you see, it's things like this. I'm sure everyone listening to your show, all the guys on this call, we all have heard the idea of predictive programming. Oh, if you see something in a movie that shows the Twin Towers being attacked or something like this, obviously with some sort of predictive programming so that we all accept it or blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure there are cases of that. However, I'm not, working for the New World Order. Jen Palmer, I've met her. We're regular people.
Yeah.
The point is, we're tapping into something bigger than a human conspiracy here. So, that's what's amazing to me, and sort of actually helped me transition a little bit to look at the bigger picture. The fact that she kept, is she almost having a portent of the future, or is it something where she's understanding a non-linear aspect to time? Is it something that was so big? You guys familiar with like Terence McKenna, this idea of the strange attractor?
Yeah.
It's almost that that, you know, there's an event in the future and we're just getting sucked towards it.
Yeah.
So, you know, was 9/11 in its own way a strange attractor, so that we were able to kind of sense that it was coming, and it comes out in our artwork, that this is what as we're playing with these different images, it finds its way into our artwork in a way that we might not even understand. You know, obviously, if either Jen Palmer or myself absolutely knew that 9/11 was going to happen, you could have, you know, called up everybody you know and said, "Oh my God, this is going to happen," and warned everyone. So you don't know it in that crystal clear, absolute knowing, but somewhere within you, you do know it, absolute knowing, and it sneaks out into your artwork. It sneaks out into your conversation. That's where, you know, where you sort of let your guard down a little bit, and your subconscious, or this part of you that's tapping into the bigger imagery, that is coming out.
You don't have enough RAM to access the ROM, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I was just thinking whilst you were telling us that about you know, sort of having precognition of 9/11. Maybe because since 9/11 there's been such an awakening that that like 9/11 was almost like a precursor to something else happening, where, you know, the consciousness of the planet as a whole like wakes up at some point in the future, because it is getting to that point where the majority of the people don't believe what is being told to them, and so they'll get to the 100 monkey syndrome, where enough people know something, and then it's sort of like into the gene pool almost. Do you all know like the 100 monkey thing, where one of them's making a tool and then he passes it on? When they get to about 100, then everybody in the group knows how to, or everybody in that monkey species.
It goes into the DNA. The information's out in the DNA basically, and
Yeah.
he knows it, but it's fired across the ether, isn't it, as opposed to being read.
So 9/11, because it's focused attention, and there is no plausible explanation given, so that has a twofold aspect, by people questioning the authority in general, and also questions their take on how, you know, past events and their own awakening. So it sort of goes at two trajectories.
Sure. Look, like, so you have the Project for New American Century, where they said all we need is a new Pearl Harbor, a catalyzing event. Yeah. Well, certainly 9/11 was a catalyzing event. We all can agree on that. In one respect, it was a catalyzing event for a police state. They've managed to turn it for their goals into something very powerful. We're all living in that reality where we're seeing how it did catalyze their ambitions, but at the same time it also catalyzed an awakening amongst the people. So, it's that sort of, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So while they're able to do this, use this event for what we might consider evil. I don't like the terms good, bad, evil, all that sort of stuff, but we just want to simplify it for a moment. It's like
them and us.
And then we can also consider on that sort of like really big scale where the New World Order guys and us, we're in this together as a human species, as a conscious divine being, as Nick likes to say, and I really like that. It's like we are divine being, right? So those guys, whoever planned 9/11, are total assholes, without a doubt, and yet they are divine beings. Like to say otherwise would be untrue. It doesn't mean that, you and I are capable of being assholes, and I'm sure there's very often in our lives we do shitty things. We just do it on a smaller scale. So we can look at them and say, wow, it's so obvious what terrible people they are, but we have to realize that, well, if we are upset with that, let's try and right some things within ourselves, right some wrongs within our own life, and then also just understand that to deny that they are a part of this, I think does a huge disservice to the ultimate truth. And with that in mind, once we go to that big picture viewpoint, another thing they kept saying about 9/11, they kept trying to shove down our throats was this idea that it was a failure of the imagination. It was a phrase they kept using, saying, we couldn't imagine that anyone would ever crash planes into buildings. We couldn't imagine that, these terrorists in a cave would come out and just, attack us. All these things, it's a failure of imagination. Now, on one level, that's total bullshit. Of course, they were in on it. But on another level, if you think about it, it's actually incredibly true. It's a failure of imagination, right? On the scale of the human race, that we couldn't imagine that we could actually make this shift, that we could awaken without some terrible catalyst, that we needed the kick in the ass. We couldn't imagine a bright enough world for ourselves that we almost needed a kick in the ass. If all of us have been inspired to look into 9/11 and have been inspired to search out our truths because of this, well, obviously, in one sense, that kick in the ass actually worked. Mm-hmm. But it is a failure of the imagination that we didn't do this without getting that horrible wake-up call.
Mm-hmm. So just out of curiosity, were you, before 9/11, were you not into any sort of conspiracy? Had you not heard of David Icke or anybody like that?
No, it's actually really funny is that throughout my life, I was, as a child, I used to draw these pictures of, like, the most absurd thing, like, revolutionary posters of, overthrowing the man. As a small child, I used to draw these, like, crazy pictures of, like, revolt and, all this stuff. So where was that coming from? I don't really know. But then somewhere around that time, so I always had this, I guess, distrust of authority. And yet, after 9/11, we want to talk about the trauma-based mind control. I can attest to that. As much as I hate to admit it, after 9/11, for about, 7 months, I was, right there with all the bullshit. This idea that, okay, we were attacked, we got to get them. Yeah. It's sort of, it got to me. Like I said, I would have these dreams of burning buildings. All I could smell was smoke, and everything on the TV was saying, we got to get these guys, we got to get these guys. And you have that sort of cognitive dissonance, or the Orwellian doublethink, where I kept, somewhere in my mind, I kept thinking, well, I know this isn't exactly true, but you're still angry and you just want to get back at somebody. And it took me about 7 months, and it actually took me until doing LSD for the first time to completely, yeah, it's like the data dump. It's like, on a computer you hit the restart button. It's like, my whole life I had this distaste for authority, and then in that, not post 9/11, like I said, maybe 7 months to a year after 9/11, I was really just mind-controlled and really struggling with it, of feeling this anger and wanting to support what I knew was not healthy, what I knew was a terrible thing, but I just couldn't shake that feeling of anger. And then I took LSD, and it was sort of like all that was gone, all my old shit was gone, and then I sort of put the pieces back together for myself. And I went through a phase of a very Zen aspect, then I ended up getting into conspiracy, I ended up getting into synchronicity. I mean, just sort of opened myself up to sort of rebuild and re-examine everything. And And I know, obviously LSD is not for everybody. I'm not encouraging it for as a cure-all, but at the same time, it definitely helped me immensely. That it just was able to sort of shake that stuff out, and of course, you end up throwing out the baby with the bathwater. You shake out a lot of good stuff too, but it gives you an opportunity to sort of rebuild your own, your own mindset and do the research and make your own choices and figure out what your own opinions are, and it sort of flushes out all the stuff that's been put into you.
It just sort of expands your horizons, doesn't it? A little, gives you a different perspective on things. And then you, and then when you get back to reality, you go, oh, well, okay, well, that's
there if I need it.
Yeah, I came out of that experience with a big question mark on everything. I no longer, I questioned reality. I mean, the very nature of reality after that experience. There was no doubt that I was questioning what George Bush said. It's like, fuck George Bush. Like, I want to know, like, this chair that I'm sitting on, what is the nature of this chair? And just by putting a huge question mark on everything, it encouraged me to really examine, to turn inside, and to just really, a lot of it's research, a lot of it's intuition, a lot of it's getting to know yourself, working through your own demons. Whether or not LSD is involved, I mean, this is, I think, what is needed for everybody. As part of this waking up process is we need to sort of unlearn all the bullshit that's been put into us since we're born, and then do a lot of work on ourselves where we realize, hey, you know what? I have a lot of faults. There are days where I'm not a good person. It could be a simple lie or jealousy or all the little demons that we have within us. Skeletons in our closet, the things we need to deal with and come to terms with, and not all of them are bad. I mean, that's what we mentioned before, like sexuality. We don't want to just throw everything out. It's not that everything becomes bad. It's just that everything becomes a question, and then you have to find those answers for yourself, and that's where you can start a true path of spiritual growth.
Yeah, because everything's valid to the observer. So, he who observes creates volatility.
So, the squares that touch, Alan, are you still making those? Yeah.
Yeah. I sort of put that on hold because of all the sync book stuff, but it's actually really funny you mentioned the guy who did the cover, Peter Palmiotti. He did the covers, and we had been sort of working at some of these ideas for many years now, just sort of talking about it. And he was just at my apartment a week ago. He brought over some more artwork. We talked. My wife is actually the one doing the interior illustrations, and we just had a nice meeting where it was sort of like, okay, we're really busy taking care of these other projects, and we just a week ago sat down to talk about starting that back up.
Excellent.
Yeah. Is that your work on issue 1, the sort of crowd scene, the little gang scene rather?
Say that again?
Is that your work for there's a little gang scene on issue 1? With the bits with the doors that are sort of falling away, but there's a crowd of people there. Is that your work?
I don't. I'm not. I'll be honest. I don't think I understand.
Did you make the picture that is the squares that touch issue number 1? The front.
On the cover? Are you asking for the front cover?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I had talked out that image with Peter back in, I think it was 2007 when we were first. I had this idea for this graphic novel, and I explained to him what I was picturing of this building and the people standing in front of it and just all of that. And but it wasn't until, I guess it was like 2009 or 10 that we actually did it. And that's Peter's illustration. I did the color I did the where you see those squares and the logo and stuff like that. I did the coloring and design work, but the actual illustration, that's Peter.
Right. They're excellent.
And for this second cover as well, same thing. That's Peter's illustration and my coloring and design.
Right. It's not that clear in the sync book because it's sort of black and white. It looks actually, edition 2 looks like a photograph. Is that not a photograph of a waterfall?
Yes. Okay, so that. Sorry, let me just pull that up. So yes, page 52 of the sync book.
That's where I'm on.
That's a photograph of a waterfall. I took that photo and I had designed that, but that wasn't the cover we ended up using.
Oh, right.
That was just a design that I was playing with. And then if you turn to page 53, that issue number 1 cover, that's drawn by Peter, but the two of us, both myself and Peter together, had figured out what it should look like, but he's the one who drew it, and then I colored it. So yes, obviously in the sync book it's black and white, but
it's good. I like the one in 53. It's excellent.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Peter's amazing. I mean, he's a professional. He's worked on Aquaman for DC Comics, a ton of books. His brother is Jimmy Palmiotti, who used to run Marvel Comics, and Peter did a lot of work, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but he did a lot of uncredited work on his brother's books, sort of helping out, and like I said, he's got a really, really nice touch. He works mostly as an inker, so he's, in comic books, you usually have someone who does the pencil work and then someone who comes along and turns those pencils into a final image by putting inks over it, deciding where the shadows should be, and just sort of cleaning everything up. And that's what he's worked as an inker. And I don't know if you guys, was it, like Mallrats Chasing Amy? You guys remember that movie, the Kevin Smith's Chasing Amy, where it was the whole joke about the inker was just a tracer. It's a real art form, and he's very, very good at it.
Yeah.
Having worked in it, where I can see what the pages look like before and after, if you can see the pencil work that the first original illustrator does, and then seeing what the inker does to bring out its full potential, it's a really, really nice art form.
So, have you seen any of the Metasabians artwork?
You guys, last time I spoke to you, I'd seen some images of someone had done a picture of Frauder X and someone had done a picture of someone else. Are we talking the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, those are beautiful.
That's right, yeah.
We're all thinking of doing a little column, as our meta in the back of the comic. So if you want a little meta done of you, just send Aiken a picture of yourself, and you can get Meta Alan.
That's awesome. Say the name again? Who's doing the illustration?
Aiken, Gene Escher, and Dan Lusky, and Bruce Jones. I'll send them. I'll send you the page on Facebook.
Please, yeah.
And hook up with them. And
I'm always interested in seeing people doing nice artwork. I'm always interested in looking at their work, and I guess this is another thing. If you guys are interested, I mean, because of the success that we've seen with SyncBook Press and the feedback we've gotten, I mean, we're already working on a few more books. We have 4 books in the pipeline already, and we're turning this into a sort of publishing imprint. So there will be an outlet if people have work that they want to put out there. There will be an outlet for it. We're calling it SyncBook Press, and like I said, we already have there's 2.5 books already done that are being finalized, and there's another, I guess, 1.5 that still need to be completed. But and then there's more coming. There's you mentioned Squares That Touch. I do plan on putting Squares That Touch out through the Sync Book Press, and there's just you're going to see a lot more really cool stuff coming. So if you guys have comics or things like that, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, get in touch with Aiken. He'll appreciate it. Andros's book's coming out on that, isn't it? Andros Jones?
Yeah. His book is, we're really close to being done with it. Justin Morgan is the guy who did the cover for the Sync book and those great tarot illustrations.
Yeah. I'm looking at them now.
He's doing a cover for Andros's book. There's another comic book illustrator, Ken Lee Dillard, who's doing interior illustrations. His book is done. We're just cleaning it up, final stages of editing, and it should be out very soon.
I must say the tarot card of the devil with Dick Cheney on it is just scary as hell, man, isn't it? Fuck's sake.
I know. Those illustrations are just incredible. What's amazing is it really looks like Dick Cheney.
Doesn't it just?
And it works so well.
That scar on his chest, his heart been removed.
Yeah, I think that. So hasn't Dick Cheney had all this heart surgery, like the pacemaker? But Justin made that. That's actually an autopsy mark. So it's he's playing the chest surgery, but it's actually after an autopsy.
After he's dead.
Yeah.
He's already dead.
Exactly. Well, the heartless devil, yeah.
Jeez, the other one as well with Bush is good. The Fool. 309.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It looks like George Bush. The image of Barack Obama as death, that looks like Barack Obama. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
This guy is so talented. So, and I think we've talked about doing Sync Book Volume 2, probably at the very end of the year. And I've had a few other illustrators contact me that they want to do stuff. So I think there'll be a lot more really cool imagery in the second one.
Is there any articles left over from the first one that you didn't publish that are probably good enough? I don't know. Well, you said is that all the? It's not all the entries you got, is it? 26.
I don't. I mean, all these guys are amazing writers, so I'm sure they have more material. But most of it was new material written specifically for the book. So there's only, I think, 2 chapters in there that were, Neil Kramer had written an essay. He had, written that essay probably months before, and I just really liked that essay, and I asked him if I could, if he would contribute that to us. But most of the guys in here, these are specifically, I contacted them saying, hey, I'm looking for about 10,000 words. Would you write something new? And that's so I don't really. It's not like there was leftover. There was nothing except for I guess some things that we just small edits that were made on those chapters. We might have taken out a paragraph or 2. But if we did a Sync Book Volume 2, it would be again asking for new essays from them. And we have guys like. I've already spoken to Ezra Sandsrebel, who does Tone Color Alchemy with Steve Wilner. Scott Onslaught, who does Hidden in Plain Sight. Freeman. I spoke to Freeman when he came to New York, maybe 2 months ago.
I think. As well.
Say again?
I'm sure Freya would just love to do that as well.
Oh, absolutely. When I did Frater's show last week, we sort of ran out of time, but I I don't know if he's still on this call, but I had actually intended on sending him an email. Definitely, I would love to have him in there. If he is listening, please know that I did intend on having that conversation. We just sort of ran out of time. But, absolutely.
Yeah, he sent me some of his, him reading his, like, writings, like little stories and that, and they're fantastic. It's sort of like Philip K. Dick, like, crossed with, I don't know, and something else that is really wicked.
Did you read the one on his page about the world's strongest man after he goes into retirement or something like that? Or that the freak show is no longer open and he's married to the bearded lady?
No, I didn't read that.
He ends up selling his DNA so that people can grow the same curly hair that he's got to.
Oh, I didn't.
Brilliant. It's only like 2 pages long, but it's brilliant. Or about 4 pages long, but it's excellent.
Yeah, I think we're planning on doing like a little album together of him speaking his stuff over the top, and then me do some tunes. So yeah, that's in the pipeline. That's the next project. Yes, because my new album will be out very shortly on Cell Recordings, a Bosnian label. So the Friendship Agenda is out soon with all the Type 1 artists. So there's Frater, Gene, Freeman, Jamie, Big Reset's in there somewhere, Brandon, Lobo. They all turn up.
It's amazing. I've actually... Go ahead, Karen. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, how soon is it coming out? And don't forget to tell us all on the Friends of Freeman agenda, and also on Facebook, where everybody can find out where it's at. That'd be super cool. I'm serious, Nick.
Yeah, well, at the moment, just as a teaser before it comes out, it's you can find it at soundcloud.com/cell recordings, and it's just in there. You can also check it out on my SoundCloud page, which is SoundCloud from Acadia, with the P. Or just go to my Facebook page and it's all there, or on the Type 1 Radio Lounge Network page on Facebook. Go there. That's a new thing that we've set up in the last couple of weeks, and yeah, it's got some great postings so far. Or you can also go to the Friends of Freeman, friendshipagenda.com, all the latest posts there for the Type 1 Radio Lounge, for all the Type 1 stuff really. And if you do want to ring in, the number is 424-675-8315. Is everyone ready for a little smoke break?
I was just about to say, why don't we, after all that Sonic...
Smoke weed every day.
And we're back. Hey, Alan.
Yeah?
Have you heard of Ben Singleton?
The name sounds really familiar.
He's an English guy.
Give me a hint here. Who?
I don't know. It's my wife. She's just called in again.
I feel like
cell phone. You feel what?
the name sounds really, really familiar.
Who is Ben Singleton? He's a British guy doing synchronistic work.
If you have a link, send me his stuff. Like I said, the name sounds really, really familiar, but I don't want to say that I actually. Oh, Wait, is this the guy, Pseudo Occult Media? Yes. Yeah, okay, Pseudo Occult Media.
Yeah. My wife just said he used to do a lot of stuff, but he's gone off the radar somewhat at the moment.
Yeah, I noticed that he hasn't posted in almost probably a year. He hasn't posted. I used to really enjoy his work when he used to do Pseudo Occult Media. He used to have a lot of posts there. I don't know if I agree with a lot of his, a lot of the conclusions that he comes to, but I noticed, and I don't want to imply, but I noticed that towards the end there, where he started to have a few questions, the sort of preconceived notions that everything was just straight up conspiracy, seemed like there was some fluctuation there, and I wonder if he hasn't sort of unplugged just because, we all need to do that sometimes, like process a little bit and figure out, all right, we've been doing all this research, what if I sort of sit back and re-examine it? But I definitely know who you're talking about, and Pseudo Occult Media was a great blog. A lot of really cool stuff there.
Yeah, my wife was trying to get in touch with him.
If you do, yeah, that'd be great. I haven't seen him post in probably a year, so I don't know what he's been up to in that time, but if you can get a hold of him, I think he'd be a great guest to have on your show.
Yeah, my wife was trying to get in touch with him. Oh.
The feedback from himself.
I haven't seen him post in probably a year.
Where's feedback coming from?
I don't know.
You'd be a great guest.
Is that just something coming over the ether?
It's
gone now, yeah. I just put it in hold and it's gone, so... Is just something coming over the ether?
Is it back now?
Yeah, it's Caroline. You have another question?
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah, we've just got like what seems like a 10-second delay going on behind us.
Hello?
Hey?
You okay, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here as well.
All right.
Okay, Alan?
You guys can hear me, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah, we've just got like what seems like a 10-second delay going on
Yeah,
behind
just get a delay again. I'm just going to put everybody on hold.
Okay. And just to take this opportunity to say that Dude Face sends his love to everybody, and he'll catch us later. Just in the chat there.
Alan, do you know? Have you ever heard of a guy called Rick Clay?
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on him? My wife would like to know.
I think Rick Clay is fantastic. Unfortunately, he died a few years ago, so we can only. I guess what I was trying to say, even like about Ben, is that I think there's a lot of developing a theory and better understanding as you go on. So I think Rick Clay had these amazing insights years ago. I just wish that he was still alive, that we could, know what he's, for him to make some sense of what's happened since then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But I think his work, very similar to a lot of stuff like early Wilner and Coates. But you see, I guess the reason you look at like Wilner and Coates, they both started off doing where they were really on the conspiracy side of things, of like saying, wow, look how this is encoded, look at how this is encoded. And then after observing it long enough, they realized that yes, there is definitely that, and yet there's this other layer which a lot of the things that are encoded are unintentional, and seem to be natural outcroppings of the universe. You know, like you said, we talked about how Jen Palmer and myself, you know, like these ideas of it's not all predictive programming. Some of it is just, and I would actually argue a lot of it is actually natural outcroppings of something. We're tapping into something really large in the universe. And that, again, I guess I should reiterate, it's not that I think that people don't try and manipulate this. There are really nasty people who are trying to manipulate that data stream, that want to, you know, put out memes almost as a sort of like mind virus. There is absolutely real thing is propaganda and predictive programming. Without a doubt, that is all real. But I think I've noticed that Jake and Steve, you know, within the last few years have really sort of learned to look at the big picture, and it's not about denying the fact that these things take place, but it's almost the idea that the big picture holds, and if we can understand the big picture, it can put all that other stuff into the proper context. So I'd be really curious to know if Rick Clay were still alive, would some of the stuff that he thought was conspiracy, where would he stand on it today? I would be really, really curious, but also just because he's an excellent researcher. So,
all right.
You know, I think, like, you know, Rick Clay dealt a lot with this, you know, 2012 Olympics and all this stuff. Now, 2012 is such a mystery. Obviously, there's a million people writing different theories as to what it means, and there seems to be a lot of, I think ultimately it's going to be a lot of different things. You know, it seems a lot of people think 2012 is going to be nothing. A lot of people think 2012 is going to be a complete shift in social consciousness. And a lot of people think 2012 is where the New World Order might completely, you know, use this as a launching point for themselves. I don't doubt that if you're a political control system, you're going to try to use every event and everything that you can spin in a certain way, that you're going to try and utilize that to your own ends, without a doubt. But I also think that, you know, if we see how the media spins 2012, they're really on the idea of, you know, this sort of end of the world, this very destructive, fear-based thing. And whenever I see something that wants me to be afraid of something, it usually just sort of intrigues me all the more. If, you know, we see how the media wants you to be afraid of Islamic people, you see how the media wants you to be afraid of terrorists and anyone who doesn't follow follow along with the, you know, company line, if you will.
Which is quite scary, particularly at the moment now that the National Defence Authoritative Act has just come in, the NDAA, is it? Where they can detain anybody even without any cause, really. Just
Sure, and you know, the thing about that, like, I didn't freak out about that only for the reason that they've already been doing it. They're just making it official. They're just saying, hey, we just want to let you know we're doing it, but they've already been doing it. You know, they had the Patriot Act, which said they can come into your house without a warrant. Like, all these things, ultimately, they are bad news, and yet they're almost just like, you know...
I think almost those types of legislation, because they're so authoritative, it gets us to question the sovereignty issue, which is becoming like worldwide now, where people are realising their own sovereignty and questioning the fact that these rules that you've made here, they don't apply to me because I make my own rules and I abide by the law of the land, you know, the common law. All these things that you're writing down and signing, they're just you're signing those. And the irony is, with all the legislation is actually the only people that it binds is the government. So, and the members of Congress or the members of Parliament, they're the only people it applies to because it's their company regulations. It doesn't apply to us. Because and the more and more people are recognising that. So I mean, that could very well have been part of the awakening thing that's going on in the world now. You know what I mean? And maybe.
Sure, I think it encourages a lot more people to say, "Wow, I really don't agree with this legislation. I don't want it." You know, and I agree with you. It's the idea of being self-sovereign. So you say, you know what, actually, that doesn't apply to me. You can write any law you want. You can write a law that says you can shoot me. You can write a law that says you can break into my house. You can write a law that says I have to pay you $1 million tax. You can write whatever law you want, and I'm still going to give you a middle finger and say no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the point we're at. And hopefully that you're right, that the more they do that, the more people will say, no, this is ridiculous. And if they won't go along with that law, maybe we can get them to not go along with some of the other laws.
The fact is that they're not laws, though. They're legislation. They're just statutes. They're not. They don't form part of any common law. So
correct. Yeah.
It's just all admiralty that's being shipped around the world, literally. You know, through the City of London, the Bar Association. You know, that's all the lawyers in every country in the world have to pass their bar exam. So they're subordinate to the Inner Temple and the Middle Temple in the City of London.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And everything else is just a subsidiary. You know, they're all just administration tribunals or the courts. They don't operate under common law anymore. And we've just got to say, right, well, should we just do a common law one?
No, I think that's an excellent point, and this is, but ultimately for me, it seems like the more people who realize it doesn't need to apply to them, that they have they don't have to go along with this nonsense, the better off we become. And that's why I guess I was saying about 2012, it's like they want you to be afraid of anyone who goes against what they're putting out as laws or what they're putting out as, that you have to do this. We just call them rules. They're saying, hey, we can do what we want and you have to do what we tell you to do. And I think just like the 2012 meme is that it's about destruction and fear, whenever I see the powers that be want you to be afraid of something, that's when I say I probably shouldn't be afraid.
Yeah. I like to think of it, as it's the universe. It's almost something's telling you to be scared, and be in fear. It's almost like the universe is saying to you, you need to sort that out.
Correct. Absolutely.
Oh. Is that Mike okay? Oh.
Yeah. You there, Alan?
I'm here, yeah.
Do you think people are starting to look beyond conspiracies now and sort of, get into a bit of synchronicity to become their own mystics?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's where I was really trying to focus, is to say, it's not that conspiracies don't exist. It's that, the conspiracy shows you what your chains are. Here we're talking on Skype. You have this image. It says thinking and the box, right? So where you're thinking outside the box. Mm-hmm. Well, conspiracy is showing you what the walls of the box are. But then once you get out of it, if you realize what the limitations you were working under are, you get yourself out of it. The rules of the box shouldn't apply to you anymore, and we should still be aware of them. We should still be aware of what's happening. If they're planning to do something, the legislation, as we spoke earlier, it shows that they're being much bolder, and it shows that they are really trying to clamp down on us. But if we remain outside of that box, if we keep our minds elevated, then ultimately there's very little that they can, not to say there's little they can do to us, because certainly they can attempt to make our lives difficult, but it's ultimately about trying to realize what your limitations are, what the control system is, and then finding out that, you know what, if I become sovereign and I step outside of this, then ultimately anything that they do has very little effect on me in the big picture. So I think there comes a point where we transition from almost like, mythology has you go through the underworld and then you come up. So we go through conspiracy and we see how all this dark stuff that's sort of trying to entrap us, and then we see at some point how it also relates to ourselves, and how, that's why I try to bring it back there, is how we do things to hurt ourselves and to trap ourselves into habits and actions. So if we can find a way to get out of that, that's ultimately, the conspiracy becomes a small aspect.
That was Freighter's. Freighter's called in, and I was just. Okay. I think he might have. Freighter, I'll just bring you back in on the chat there, on the Skype call.
Am I on right now?
Yeah,
you are.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Yeah, good.
I had a heck of a time trying to connect, man. I don't know what was going on.
But you've been with us all night, so I don't know.
No, I know, but there was too many Skype windows open. I was like on Friendship Agenda Skype chat, and then like Fi Chick Skype chat, and there was several of them going at once. So I don't know what happened, but I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. I have some things I want to talk about, but I want you guys to finish what you're saying.
I think we just about were finished, actually, weren't we?
Yeah.
Good timing for the floor is yours, so.
I have this effect on people, guys. I make an abrupt entrance on all occasions. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. It's always the case. I'm sorry. Anyways, so I'm glad to be on, guys. I want to drop a few things on you. First of all, my great webmaster, HTML Sam, is in the process of launching the Mystery School magazine, which will be located directly on my website, middlechamberfx.com. And I want all you guys to submit material to Mystery School magazine. It will be a media content outlet, a way for folks to come on board and check out all the cool stuff that each one of us gathers in our daily research endeavors. We all have them. We all sit there and take notes and gather things. Let's put them all together on this webzine called Mystery School Magazine.
Excellent.
So look forward to that coming up real soon. The second thing is that I've started another blog called Streampunk Blog. Alan, are you online with us?
I'm here, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Great to hear you again.
Oh, it was so great having you on the show. It was an excellent show. Anybody who hasn't caught that show, wow. And I loved having Andras come on as well, and he has already said that he's going to come on. He's sending me a copy of his book. He'll be coming on when his book is released to talk about his latest book as well. But I wanted you to be paying attention to what I'm saying now, Alan, because this is directly related to reading your book. I've come up with this crazy idea. I've got a blog now going called Stream Punk. Now, it's not steampunk. We all know that subgenre, steampunk. But imagine a new subgenre called stream punk. of cyber tales, flash fiction, and all kinds of stories related to synchronicity and synchromysticism. And another term we could throw out there is synchrofiction. And this is a whole new subgenre that I am currently launching. And I'd like to invite anyone who feels inspired to send me short flash fiction, 750 word or less tales involving cyber fiction and anything related to the internet and any kind of synchromysticism and weird tales involving people online. And that's my idea. And I'm throwing it out there for everybody to kind of just let that marinate in your minds for a while and see what you can reflect back to me.
You should submit the saga, Alan.
Say again?
You should submit the saga.
It's a lot more than 750 words, but
all right.
Well, that's just a ballpark idea. You know, I mean, I would be open to anything, but I like the idea of trying to frame it around short bursts. You know, like the idea of flash fiction.
No, what he's referencing is something I mentioned in my chapter of the Sync book called The Saga. The reason I called it that is because it came out to like over 500 pages. It just kept growing. But no, I think the idea of the flash fiction and synchro fiction, just all this, I think is amazing, and I encourage everyone to really can take him up on the offer, and I will probably do the same, just because ultimately the answer that I keep coming back to is if we want to get out of this endless loop of, bullshit, excuse me, but that's what it seems to be. We get trapped in these cycles. The way to do it is to be creative and to do new ventures. That's where artwork comes in, and that's why I think artwork seems to tap into the future, because we are literally creating it. We are doing something new, and I encourage every creative endeavor. Nick has his album coming out, talking about writing fiction. I mean, this is ultimately what everyone should be doing, is becoming an artist and trying to utilize whatever skills they have to invent a new world.
That will be out on iTunes and Beatport and the Juno Download and other synchronistic download sites. I'm just going to get a date, but it's in the can.
It's like this, guys. We all need to become synchromystics. We need to interpret the contemporary consensus reality that is being transmitted to us. We need to reapply a new paradigm, a new meme to the information we're receiving. And for anybody who's interested in getting involved in this new little project, it's synchrofiction.blogspot.com. Please come and submit your entries, share in this, synchronized, real-time expression and transmission.
Victor, put a link into the Type 1 Radio Lounge Facebook page, yeah?
Absolutely, no problem.
Excellent, wicked, mate. And also on the friendshipagenda.com. Because that sounds like a wicked idea. Yeah. It could be like, could turn into like a synchro Twitter, something like that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Anything. If you go there, you'll see a little bit of a little description I put there to kind of set the parameters. And basically, the parameters are there are no parameters. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
But the first distinction that we must make is the fully imagined, defined, and established subgenre known as steampunk. Now, this is one term. This is a new term, streampunk. I submit the phrase streampunk to be defined as a new subgenre of cyber flash fiction. And I put out the perimeter of 750 words or less, inclusive, unrestricted by mainstream rules, notions, and traditions, which constrains most other forms of literature. This new subgenre would by its very nature defy all rules, grammatically and scholastically. I mean, that's the bottom line. And it's right in line with spontaneous prose, which was presented back, over 50 years ago by Jack Kerouac and the Beat Writers. And I think it is the natural progression of that thought process. And, it's something to consider because it's a forum and a venue by which we can process and interpret the synchronicities and the synchromysticisms which are communicated to each one of us every day.
Can I ask a technical question, Frater?
Please, yes, please.
How would someone submit something to you? For like Blogspot usually has like an admin account. Is there a way that they're submitting something to you through email, or how would you like someone to get in contact with you?
Yeah, at this point, they could throw it on the comment box. They could send me an email at FraterXFreeZone@gmail.com would be the way to go. FraterXFreeZone@gmail.com.
Have you thought of using Tumblr, Frater?
It's a great idea. I welcome all kinds of suggestions. I'd like you guys all to get involved. I mean, the idea is just it was a spontaneous thought. I thought this is, I was building off of the momentum that I thought we created with the conversation with Alan, with the research leading up to it, reading the Sync book. It just seems right. It's right now. It's dynamic. It's real time.
Yeah. It's remembering.
Well, it's interpreting, I would say. It's processing and interpreting stimuli and transmissions and creating. Well, you mentioned earlier, Alan, about getting creative, about expressing ourselves. I mean, we're the world we're living in. A lot of us, this is our only means of interaction. I mean, a lot of us, we're homebound in many ways. Whether we go to work, we come home. This is our only means of expressing ourselves, if you will.
This is the new art form.
Yeah, and I say let's capitalize on it. Let's utilize it. Let's get spontaneous. Let's get involved. Activate.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother.
Yeah, same here.
Of course, Sonic, you are doing that, and Alan too. I mean, that's the whole point of your book. You've taken it to the next level in that way, and Sonic, with all the work you're doing, the new releases on SoundCloud. I'm so excited about that. That's yet another Type 1 cooperative endeavor. I mean, this is the fruit of us all coming together and being inspired and expressing ourselves creatively.
Yeah, and I think the amazing thing is that all the little samples that I've taken from all of you all just fit perfectly in those tubes. Like it was, like you recorded it for that, but it was just you capturing you in the flow, so to speak.
And while I got you here, I don't know if you were able to hear the conversation maybe about 30 minutes ago, but I had intended when we were speaking the other night to bring this up with you, Frater, is that I would very much like, we are planning on doing a Sync Book Volume 2, and I would very much like you to contribute to that. And
oh, wow, thank you.
Oh, please. I mean, I really had intended on saying it the other night, and I figured you and I would just stay in touch. So I'm not ready yet. I'm not fully, haven't fully got this idea down as to, I'm not ready to start on it just yet, but as soon as I'm thinking we're like a month or two away from trying to start, it's going to take months and months to put together, so probably in like a month or two I'll send you an email with full details.
Oh, wow. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Thank you so much. I would gladly love to contribute to that. I would be excited about being involved with that.
Excellent. You heard it live, folks.
The Type 1 radio is exclusive.
All right. Woo! That's what it's all about, people.
What have you got for us tonight anyway, Frater?
Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
What have I got for you tonight? boy, I'll tell you what, Carolyn, you still on the line?
No, she's not.
She's not on the line anymore. Well, I'll tell you what, Carolyn and I are working on a big deal, guys. We have been made an offer by Paranormal Reality Television Network to come up with a television show. And we're going to we're putting together a treatment and a pilot, guys. We're going to put a show on that's going to explore the paranormal realities of the American, everything, all around. We're just going to be traveling. It's awesome. I'm telling you, it's a great new thing. Are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm being called by Friendship Agenda. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, right.
I don't know why. On the Skype, I'm getting called right now. So I don't know what's going on. Hello?
Hello? Yeah, decline that one.
Okay, well, so this is another exclusive here on Type 1 Radio Lounge. And I'll tell you right now, this is something you guys all want to be paying attention to because we expect everybody to get involved in the research angle on this and the contributions and it's something. This is a great opportunity. So let us all, just work towards the future, man. This is what it's all about.
Are you and Caroline going to present that together?
Well, at this point, we're going to be creating a show. I don't know who's going to present it. I personally would like to get a nice, pretty face as the front, in front of the camera. I don't necessarily want to get in the front of you. guys have all seen me. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to look at this mug. You know what I mean? Let's get somebody better in front of the camera. You know what I mean? I don't know about Carolyn. I've never seen Carolyn.
Oh, I think you should just do it for a laugh. Just show it to us, though. Don't show it to the world.
Right. Well, we'll just have to figure all that out, as time goes by. But inevitably, it's exciting. It's very exciting, and it's a really great opportunity. And we all know that Carolyn's got a lot to say, and she needs her own platform. And I presented it to her. I wish she was on right now because I'd love to have her be in this conversation because I think this is a great opportunity for her to present a lot of what her research and what she has to say, and she's got so many contacts and so many people involved.
Yeah, she's just had a bit of a back spasm at the moment, so she's just lying on the floor, bless her. So hope you're okay, Carolyn, and if you can, once it's better, just come and tell us all about this excellent news.
So are we, at this point, are we about to go off the air on Blog Talk or what?
We've got half an hour left.
Yeah, I've got another half an hour of a live show. It's a 2.5-hour show.
Well, guys, honestly, I'm going to have to cut out on you. I've been here for 2 hours, and I got other stuff I got to do, but I really wanted to come on and share all this important stuff. And I wanted to tell you that I really appreciated the conversation earlier. I was right there listening, commenting. This is a great, relaxed, and casual forum for those like-minded folks like ourselves that come together and exchange ideas. It's a beautiful thing, and I encourage you guys to keep this going.
Carolyn's here now.
Okay, I kept trying every call I got. Everybody's been trying to call me. Sorry, I had a muscle spasm. It was actually on the floor here. I didn't want to hear you guys curse me, so I shut some things down, and apparently shut everything down. Sorry about that. What Frater said, I heard most of it. So, I mean, if not, I know where he lives now, so I can get him. So what he said mostly is true. We're going to get everybody on there, though. Sonic, you're hot. You're going to get on there. You know that. And so Steve, so Spycheck. So's Alan, so Steve. We're going to get a whole bunch of other people on there, too. So this isn't just an ego boost for any one individual. We're going to, Jay's essential to tie people in. Reset's essential. We got to get Karen and Rita, and we need everybody that's on here. We need Darren to come back into it. This is going to be a joint effort. We're all going to make enough to be comfortable, have the toys we want, but also get messages out about the permaculture, about the aquaponics, the hydroponics, the vermiponics, but then also, hey, the truth about the nine, the truth about what's going on with some of this, the real history that we've all missed and stuff, and we're going to kick some ass, seriously. Even if I do wind up on the floor occasionally.
Well, you take care of yourself.
Well, I've had a broken neck, broken shoulder, broken back, broken hip. Don't even count the fingers and toes anymore. And I don't know what this one was, except I did move rooms here at the hotel I'm at now. Eddie was a Superman, very heroic, drove all the way up here 13 hours, spent a month, and then he had to go home. His mother's leaving. She's 76 years old. She's kind of freaked out that he was up here. And so he's going down there to help her move. She's a realtor of some sort down there. But he was super about that. But we moved myself to this hotel here is so awesome. Unlike the other one, I don't have a room. I have a suite. But I got to admit, I probably moved too much stuff on my own, so that's my fault.
Carolyn, let Brayton just say goodbye to everybody. He said to go.
Yeah, well, listen, I just wanted to say that, just to be clear, the network has offered to take a look at our proposal, and they welcome a pilot, and if we produce what they're looking for, the same kind of media content they're interested in, then we have a slot. And it is all subscription-based through the same system in America called the Roku box, which provides Netflix and other alternative media content to folks who subscribe. So that's the way it's going to be if we choose and they accept us on their network. So that's what we're working towards, and we'll see what happens.
Excellent.
And Prater is going to send me a lot of beer, and Mater's going to send me a lot of coffee, and do that soon, guys. I'm on the floor here. But hey, even besides the subscription thing, though, too, we're going to do the thing the Prater's hooked up to, but there's 4 other networks I've talked to, so we're going to make sure that the information that's vital is out there free for everybody. That's something that's a permanent goal of me. I'm getting that sanctuary up. The 7th move in 3 years was certainly not planned over the Christmas, New Year's holiday. That kind of fucked me up, but wrecked me up. And but I want people to understand that, because it is definitely still going to be the essential information, how to do the permaculture, how to do all the important stuff, and I am going to have news out there free for folks, okay? We want to do the stuff with Prater, and that's going to be so cool. They're definitely going to have no problem if they're going to take this promotion and this idea, this proposal. But there's 4 other networks. They're all very interested. Well, there's actually 2 additional ones I just got news about yesterday, but I never got back to them because I've been too busy. And they're all OCONUS, which stands for outside the continental United States. So we can do those. We can do a whole boatload of stuff. And I've actually talked to the guy that got arrested for Mega Upload because I was so pissed off about them shutting him down when they have other problems. And he has investors that are helping him. And because Mega Upload got shut down, they're going to start another network. And they also invited some opportunities there, which, that's for everybody to get a hold of. We want to stop the, what's the right word for it? The narrowing down of the funnel of information. We want to open that funnel up into a flood. But Prater is right. What he's been talking to his guy is absolutely amazing, and it is going to kick some serious butt. And Mater's going to make all of us coffee for the rest of our lives. And this sanctuary's going up. I don't know. I mean, Eddie and his real estate mom want to push Austin. I had originally thought of that, but I've got friends in Vancouver I was going to move to, but now they're also damn irradiated. I don't know. But, Joyner, the gal that lost her job over the UFO story in Texas, and, other people have been telling me Texas and get the hell out of Missouri because it's such a Bible Belt thing, but, it's in the middle of the country, and you know what? Somebody's got to stay at the front line. I know that the New Madrid Fall is going to kick off, but where I'm at, I've already done the geological stuff. I've done all this stuff. Somebody's got to stay where people can reach and be at the front line. We can't all hide in bunkers in Cheyenne Mountain, and I fucking don't want to anyway. I want to be out there at the last minute playing all the music that Sonic can produce and all the other cool people on my Facebook page can produce and all the cool music for the last several millennium and, dancing, I don't care, I'm just, and throwing life preservers. Who the hell? None of us are going to live forever. Let's go down having some fun at the same time. That's my goal. There's my rant. Did I put everybody to sleep already?
No, that's fair enough, Caroline. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
And
That's beautifully said.
I'm definitely coming to Brighton within the next 12 months. You got my word on that.
Cool. We got your suite waiting for you right now.
Hey, you guys got to check in on me traveling with the cats to England. No, I don't care. I'll take a freighter, I'll take a boat, I'll take a submarine. You figure out how, and I'll be there. I don't care. I got a gal who's going to come on the show too. She's a consul to Chavez in Venezuela. I'll see if they can get me a goddamn Russian sub. I'll just come into Brighton on a sub. What the hell? Hey, maybe we'll do the show from Cuba. I don't care. They got beaches.
Yeah, no, I would be up for doing the show in Cuba because right now, right here in Brighton, it's snowing and it's very cold.
Has it actually started now? I haven't looked at
Yeah, man, it's freezing.
Love you.
You did a good thing not coming over.
Well, you know, we had incredible Georges on here now, and we had incredible weather in the Midwest. While you know the Alaska had minus 50 Fahrenheit. You guys were cold. My newfound relative in the Ukraine who had a heart attack, he's doing better now. People asked on my Facebook page, he is doing better. He was on a switchman on a train when he had the heart attack. That kind of fucked every people up. But luckily all the trains were safe. But he's got snow out the butt. And my friends in Romania are telling me they've got record snow and cold they've never seen before.
Yeah. In Russia, it was minus 42 Celsius.
Holy shit. Well, you know, I said we had
The sea.
almost 70 Fahrenheit, but right now it's raining and they're talking about snow flurries tonight, so it's just insane.
Well, maybe the ice age has come to Europe. Because the sea
It certainly appears.
frozen. What the fuck's that about?
Okay, guys, listen, I'm going to sign off now. It was really good chatting with you this evening. We'll talk to you again next week. Tonight's broadcast on Radio Free Humanity is a rebroadcast, but it's that excellent show with Joseph Farrell. For anybody who hasn't caught that, it's awesome. And he'll be on this month. At the end of the month, Joseph Farrell's coming on the 25th, and we're going to discuss Roswell and the Reich. You guys, if you don't know Joseph Farrell's theory about what happened in 1947 in Roswell, that's a serious mind blower. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just crazy. So, look forward to that broadcast on the 25th. Yes, Carolyn.
Freighter, I absolutely, you know, I told you before, I said this on your show, that, you know, Joseph Farrell is like one of those guys I want to have as a kid. Like David Icke, there's certain guys, I tell you, they're amazing people, and I agree with his theory about Roswell. And, you know, you just asked me, no, I didn't mind you talking about what you did. That's cool. And we are seriously going to get that done. I'm working on a proposal. But also, hey, you just got to let us know. Hey, when am I going to be back on the show? Because I want Sonic on your show with me.
I'll look at the, like I said, I'm booked solid till April. So maybe in April.
Morning when the show's on.
My birthday's April 24th, but you know what? You have another Dead House. I don't blame you for this week. Farrell's a good repeat. Plus, you got Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl weekend here. So
yeah, this is Danny's Choice, the first Danny's Choice from AFR Radio Network. So that's what we're doing, and it was his pick. But I was supposed to go to Philly this weekend. That's why I've got a rebroadcast.
It's Super Bowl weekend anyway, so don't worry about it. But you know what? You have a dead.
Who's playing on the Super Bowl this weekend?
Who the hell cares?
The Reds be the Blues.
Hey,
that's my form of disrespect, guys.
Only one are the sexy and the funny commercials. The rest of the stuff sucks. But
I'm loving the idea of the occupation movement occupying the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's my right there.
I really hope they do it. But hey, you get a night where something falls through, or Bob does, or any of these guys or well, Danny, I should say, not Bob. You let us know, and Sonic and I are gonna come out, so we're gonna play his music at the same time. All right?
Absolutely, anytime, guys. And I mean, Sonic, buddy, as soon as we format this show, you know that you just need to send me your favorite track, and we're going to put it into the rotation for the new reformatting of my show coming March. It is the Middle Chamber with Frater X. We're going to put the Radio Free Humanity to bed, and we're changing it up. So the Middle Chamber with Frater X will have a track from Sonic.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm thinking. I think Beyond Possibilities would be a very apt one.
You just send me the track you want me to play, buddy.
Okay, well, it's in the. I'll just tell you which one, and you can. Did you sign up to the Dropbox shared file there? I sent you.
I downloaded everything that was in there.
Hey, Nick, you can send it to them. They're on Facebook now. Send it to them through Facebook.
Specifically. Yeah.
Absolutely. We are on Facebook, and I want to thank Carolyn once again for pressuring me to join Facebook because it's awesome. It's definitely increased everything. And anybody who wants to contact us on Facebook, that's Frater X, Mater X on Facebook.
Right, and, don't forget the Type 1 page. We have our own page now so we can kick butt.
Hell yes. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to y'all later.
Hey, Frater, since you're not traveling, you do realize that you don't even need dry ice. I can be very European and drink my beer warm.
Hey, it's called cowboy cold out there in the Midwest, isn't it?
Hey, it's going to be snowing tonight, so, local restaurants will deliver beer here.
Yeah, you guys take it easy. If you get it easy, take it twice.
Right, I think it's a nice tune.
Stick a tune on, yeah.
Okay.
You used to say it's easy to be hard.
This is a friend of mine. They're sticking with the S theme. They're called Smackler, and this is Taxi. Great tune. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was Smackler and Taxi. That was about some of my French friends. They're great. I don't think that band's actually going anymore, though.
Sonic, are you there?
Yeah.
You make such great music, but I got to tell you, this is the best hotel I've ever been on. The hotel here actually listens to the show. The other hotel was like flipping me the bird. These guys were so good. When they heard that I was on the floor in pain on the radio, they just came down here to check and see if I was all right, and one of them just handed me a cold beer. Now, is that a hotel or what?
Yeah.
That's not a hotel.
If they'd have given me something between my two fingers, it would have been okay, too, but that's later after I get done with dealing with the legal stuff in St. Louis. But these guys are awesome. I got to say that. Oh, I should say where I'm at, so I get a plug. This is American Best Value Inns and Suites. If you're in mid-Missouri, that's the only place to stay, and you tell them the crazy cat lady told you that. So I'm the only person here with cats, so they know who I am. I mean, how awesome is that? Geez, they wanted to make sure I was all right. Somebody offered me aspirin, and the guy that was working the desk said, here's a nice beer. And I said, I love you. I'll have your children. So I have a date with him later tonight, so we'll work about that.
This week's title of the show is...
We're not off the air yet?
Yeah. Of course we are.
On the air for 2 hours, Colin.
Oh, I thought we were in the podcast hour, I hope.
No.
No, I think we've got how long left?
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Oh, well, that was badly timed on my part, sorry. But hey, I'm glad the plug went out. I'm serious. I'll say it again. American Best Value Inn and Suite. I'm reading it right off the card. And Country Kitchen right next door is where you want to eat, too.
It's got a pool. It's got a pool, Carolyn.
Oh, my God, yeah, the pool. They said they will open it up definitely by my birthday, April 24th, if not sooner. But there's an exercise room. And the breakfast is, my God, the other place they call this sausage gravy thing, which was just, sort of this flour pasty thing. I've got like half of the globe now in my stomach. You know how like when you were a kid you used flour paste to make maps? My God, I'm going to have my insides flushed with, dynamo or something. But this place, the breakfast in the morning, listen to this, you get bagels with real cream cheese, real yogurt. You get strawberry and banana and strawberry yogurt, 2 different flavors, real named oatmeal that you can make, They got coffee, decaf coffee. But listen, orange juice, cranberry juice, apple juice, and filtered water. And a bunch of sweets and stuff. You like that stuff too. All kinds of bakery stuff, little donuts and bullshit. But then even their bread isn't even dinky. It's cracked wheat, but I mean really good bakery bread. And this place is like $200+ cheaper a month than where I was staying at, almost $300. And I mean, these guys are so cool, and they treat their employees like human beings. I mean, the other place was charging people $1. The workers, $1.50 for water when it was 90+ degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, I wish I didn't. I mean, when I checked with this place like 8 months ago, they didn't allow animals, and it was a different owner. But I'll tell you, this current guy is awesome. And geez, they not only like cats. These people come in and pet my cats, and they go, hey, you got a cat that walks on a leash? Bring it up here. So they were like chilling out, being cool. And they got people of all flavors and kinds, and they're not prejudiced about anything, which I really, really like that. I'm serious. They're workers, you know. They're just regular people. Sue and her partner here, other people. But, I mean, he's a Christian guy, so people think you can't mix the two. Yes, you can. The owner is very Christian, but he's a real Christian that he respects what other people are into and how other people live their lives. I got to admit, you know, these are the kind of things that make me say that staying at the front, somebody's got to stay here and kick ass. Especially if they bring me beer. I'm sorry, I know. Somewhere along the line, we're going to get a beer promoter out of this. Nice microbrew would do.
You're going to be a sponsor for the TV show, Caroline?
Well, yeah, but as long as we get a good sponsor that provides ale and a porter, you know, something on the darker side. But I agree with everything Frater said, but I will do the subscription thing only on the side. We got to have the thing that's still free, though. We're going to make money on ads and sponsors. We can do the subscription stuff too for extra stuff, but I really do want to make sure that we get the information out about the alternative energy, the alternative news, the permaculture, and I want it to be out there for everybody free. I want to have, you know, like I've got those, you know, now I got 3 patents in the work, and those are all for energy. And all I need to do is have enough money to feed the cats and the dogs and whatever I have, the goats and everything else on the sanctuary, and have the choice. We can get online and keep doing this stuff. But anything excess, man, is going to be shared with other people, and we're going to help people, too. Somebody's getting their ass part closed. We're going to even set up a storage unit that is going to be a safe place. You can store things. You're not going to get screwed out of storage, so you're paying, you know, $8 million a month, and then when you run out of money, they steal your shit. We're going to have something that's a real sanctuary. You know, we're going to show people what we can do. You know, what has been done in the past by a lot of the Native Americans and Canadians and Polynesians, and, you know, we're not inventing anything that hasn't been here before. We're just going to do the opposite of the powerful 1% elite and show people that we stick together, none of this, you know, save your own ass CYA stuff. We're going to do this. We're going to share. Everybody's going to learn how to garden, and if they're victory/survival gardens, we're going to have tropical stuff. We're going to have all the healthy stuff. We're going to have aquaponics with not only tilapia. I've been talking to the guys in Japan. We're going to have prawns, and they've taught me how to do saltwater fish, and there's some guys in Norway doing some saltwater fish. So we're going to have such a frickin' menu. People will come to the sanctuary just to get good food, if nothing else. And then we can show them how to do the other stuff at the same time. And we're going to party. We're going to have music. We're going to dance. Because you know what? There's no point in being alive on this planet unless you're having fun at the same time.
That's what it's about, having fun.
Well, you know, you're learning and having fun at the same time. That to me, learning is fun to me. And whenever I'm having fun, I'm learning too. So it's sort of I like that little, you know, that's my version of an Ankh thing that goes around in a circle. You know, you're having fun and you're learning and you're happy. And you're sharing too. You know, you got to have the whole thing. I know I get a little bit preachy, but sometimes you got to rant.
And you rant like the best of them.
Well, we've only got 2 minutes left, so if Reset or Jay wants to have a rant.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, Jay.
Okay, I basically came up with an idea, you know, the synchronization of thought is basically telepathy. And when we start with synchronizing events, pretty soon it becomes synchronization of thoughts. then we're all connected as a collective, real close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was thinking that telepathy is also some form of thing. Alan, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
What do you think about that? That telepathy is it's just, or synchronicity is just another form of telepathy.
Well, yeah, I actually agree with that. There's one of the girls in the book, Jen Palmer, who was at our event on Tuesday. She has a presentation she does with Evolver and Reality Sandwich, where 90 seconds, okay, where
I'll just
she
keep
talks
going
about how the Twitter and all this, social media allows us to develop telepathy. I think it's not, if it was just synchronization of thoughts as that, then that's not telepathy because then it's a hive mind. I think we just need to make a distinction there. It's not a hive mind, but it does definitely, where we learn to understand each other, I do think that does definitely lead to telepathy.
It's alright, Alan, keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it definitely leads to telepathy. I think this is one of the things we're discovering, and I absolutely encourage that line of thinking because it's real. It's definitely real.
Yeah. Yeah, that Jen Palmer one's a really good. Jennifer Palmer's one is the feeling of sync.
So, just for our the live listeners listening to us, good day to you all.
Bye.
And you can listen to the rest of this synchronistic funky chat on the podcast. So,
Pipeline Radio.
everybody. And then, bye. And then, now
Okay, we're in the podcast now, so. It's just
Hey
us.
guys, I thank you so much for having me on today. I actually got to run because I have a meeting tonight. I have to get some work prepared for.
Okay.
Okay, well, a pleasure to talk to you, Alan, and we'll speak again, yeah?
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Alan, I'd like
Namaste, y'all.
Alan, when we get a chance, I'd like to talk to you about doing that CD with all the stuff on there with him.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I mean, I actually had occurred to me. It's just sort of, the Sync Book Press is not just me. As you said before, it's not about promoting egos here. And at the same time, you need somebody at the helm, and that's been me. So it's a tremendous amount of work to try and get everything in there. There's a lot of great ideas, and if there's a way to get assistance on this, absolutely, I encourage that because ultimately what we need here is people in the friendship agenda who can, I believe very strongly in it, that ultimately we need friends to all work together towards a common goal, and if there's a way to make this happen, if people have time and skills that they can put to use on this, I would love the help. I would love the help, and I think it's for the greater good.
Well, yeah, I've
I
actually
think
worked.
Freeman's just joined us. Do you want to say hi, Freeman?
Oh,
Hello.
great.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where are you at,
Hey,
Freeman?
Freeman.
I am in Austin, Texas.
Oh my God! Hey, Eddie just got back there. He's gonna like to hear that. Were you gonna be on with Alex or what?
Oh, no, not likely.
Hey, I don't know. Hey, I think you need to be. They need to hear what you got to say, love. You know that.
I gave a talk at Brave New Books, and it was a completely packed house. It went all the way back to the cash register, standing room only. A lot of the radio talk show hosts showed up, but Alex wasn't one of them.
Hey, we're gonna get you back on. We're gonna get you back on there. We're gonna get your videos in his library to be sold too. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Hey, how is your better half, hon?
Oh, she's doing well. We're having fun here in Texas, meeting everyone. We've met all kinds of new friends. We haven't even gotten around to the old friends, so we decided we have to hang out longer.
Hey, how's Emily doing?
Good. You know, Miss Emily just kind of sits there for most of the time, and you know, we can't afford to drive her around. So.
Hey, we're gonna take care of that, because once we get the sanctuary up, Emily's gonna have a place where she can get rebooted and fixed and everything else, and we're gonna make sure. You know what? We can actually get her on FlexFuel too, so we're gonna kick some ass on that, Freeman. I'm telling you. You gotta find a time. Hey, we gotta find a Saturday when you and I can sit down and Simon's gonna come on too, and we're gonna talk about some stuff that needs to get done, because you're awesome, hon. Without you, we wouldn't. Hey, without you, we wouldn't be here. You know, we know that.
Exactly.
I love to be here. I love that you guys are here. I love the friendship agenda, and it totally works.
Hey, without you, there wouldn't be a Type 1 radio. Of course, we needed Sonic and Fried Check and Steve to get it all pulled together. But hey, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't all come together, love.
Hey, well, that's more than I could hope for out of what I do.
Yeah.
Hey, you know we've got Alan with us, Freeman.
Yes.
Have you interviewed Alan yet? He does a great job with his sync book. He's awesome. You need to have him on, Free, if you haven't yet.
Yeah, you know, I'm working back towards the having guests. But I did hang out with Alan in New York at the Shishama Film Festival when Vox Populi, Methods of Manipulation, aired at the Shishama. So me and Alan got to party up with all my friends on the 48th floor of the Bank of America.
That was like the most surreal thing, to meet Freeman, and where are we doing it in the Bank of America corporate building was pretty hilarious.
Hey, Alan, you guys got to post some pictures of that. I got to see that.
I do have some shots. I'll get those up somewhere. I'll get them up here in the friendship agenda anyway.
Hey, you and Jamie, one of you guys put it on Facebook, and I'll send it all over the place.
All right. Yeah, I've been having a crazy time. You know, the Me at the Zoo came out, and you know they used a little clip of my Anna Nicole, Brittany, and Mind Control video. And the day the film premiered on the screen at the Sundance Film Festival, which was the 21st, my website was hacked and taken down.
Oh, shit.
And so I have been frantically rebuilding the new FreemanTV.com, which I think is far superior to the old FreemanTV.WhyNotNews. So I'm pretty excited about it. It was a freaky thing. Man, I don't know if I'm under attack right now. I can't even sign into Oracle Broadcasting either. My computer won't let me.
Hey, Freeman, this time you got to make sure who's ever doing your website, you personally know him. Don't do it. You need somebody. I know people that you can absolutely trust.
Well, I do my website. Like, I do all the work. Somebody just provided me the format. You know, I do all the webmastering.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Yeah, Prater thought that you had a stranger doing it, and I was going to say, if you need somebody, man, we can get you some cool people to cover your ass, because you don't want those strangers. They can shut you down in a heartbeat. And we can't have you silenced like that. That's not good.
Yeah, well, I beat them.
All right.
They weren't going to bring me down. I made sure I had the blog up and everything and ready to go. So
the site wasn't even down for a whole day, was it?
No, it took me like about 2 hours to get it back up.
Right on. Good job on that, man.
Yeah, awesome. Are you live tonight, Free? Are you live tonight?
No, I can't tonight. I'm meeting up with old friends. And after the massive performance at Brave New Books, I feel like I really did my part. So I'm going to use the rest of the time to meet up with all my old friends. All our new friends, you know, from the friendship agenda. The whole time I've been here, it's been new people.
What is your new show? What's the replay tonight? What's the topic tonight?
I have a feeling it'll be the rebroadcast. Like I say, I can't get into Oracle right now, so I couldn't really do a show if I wanted to. I'm locked out for some weird reason, and this happens as well.
I'll give a plug. We can give a plug for the show if you know what it is. But with that, I'll look on the page and put a plug up so that people know what's coming on.
Yeah, it's not important. People would go listen to Confessions of a Conspiracy Theorist, or go back to an old Freeman perspective. I would so much rather you were on my website looking at some of the stuff that, I'd definitely go to Confessions of a Conspiracy Theorist or radio appearances and start at the bottom and work your way up. I would so much rather you did that than listen to some old Free Zone, I swear.
Great.
There's so much data on my website, so much great stuff. The Free Zone is just a topical show. It's not even my heart. The heart's in the website, and that's where you're going to find everything.
Well,
I personally would think that if I don't show up on the radio, you could spend 2, 3, 20 hours on my website listening to shows that you've never heard before. Go through the Obama Chronicles,
Now we know what to do. We'll put them out there. Now we just needed to know where to go and get them, and that's a great thing that you're putting this out there. And we'll put it up on all the Type 1 radio page and my page and everywhere else, and we'll just make sure that everybody knows where to go.
Yeah. I mean, personally, the radio appearances is where you want to go if you want to get the hardcore data, and start at the bottom and work your way up because, it's a story. It's a storyline. It's not something that you're going to get in an hour. So
I really like the Manly P. Hall things that you put up on the Confessions of a Conspiracy Theorist.
Yeah.
Those two sections are just fantastic. He was a genius.
He really was, and we have linked up on the Friendship Agenda the whole audio archive. So if you go click on the tab that says Rabbit Hole, I think it says Philosophy. So you click on the Rabbit Hole tab, you go to the Philosophy tab, and it's an entire archive of Manly P. Hall talking about everything from Atlantis to UFOs to secret, initiation rituals.
Yeah. And he's got such a cool voice as well.
Yeah, what's blowing me away with the whole Manly P. Hall thing is I went to the library he has in Los Angeles, and the doors to his library are a reptilian holding a pine cone and a fish man holding a penis staff. The many times that we find this merfolk reptilian thing together is just astounding.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that that would be carved into the door of his library.
Just telling you straight off.
And of course, that's the background on FreemanTV.com.
Yeah.
You look for your...
Where's the one about how Babs Bush is Aleister Crowley's daughter? I tell more people that, and I give you credit for that. What's the find that? Because I think you need to know who this Bush family is. I mean, good Lord. Everybody reviles the name of Hitler when Bush should be a name that should be reviled across the next century.
It will be.
Well, where is that? You did a great job on that. I don't know. Do you remember the name of that thing? Go on YouTube or go on your page. You did a great thing. I can dig it up and see if I know I got it on my iMac, but I want to tell people where to go for that because you did a great job with that.
Yeah, the one place is Sorcerers of Atlantis is the lecture. Where did I put that post? Now I've rebuilt the whole website, so it's kind of different. But that actually should be under Hollywood Mind Control.
Cool, all right.
But I bet I don't have the image up there. Now you got me thinking I have to get some of that back up. Oh yeah, it's there. So it's under Hollywood Mind Control on FreemanTV.com.
That Bush link is so instrumental for you. You were so cool about that because so many people don't know about. Prescott Bush actually funded Nixon back in California, and Ruby, who was known as Rubenstein, actually worked for Nixon, and then he winds up shooting Oswald and there. And you've got, people got to understand, you've got, Babs Bush being the bastard child of Aleister Crowley, and that's not even bullshit. That's out there because you can read the socialite columns. She's out bumming around with Aleister Crowley, and all these things link together. And I still try to tie in more of the 9 because I tied in more of the Payne family, because the Payne family was tied into owning the place where Oswald lived, and it's also into owning the bookstore depository. And I've actually gotten 4 of the current name in the 9, and I'm still pursuing the other 5 names. We just got to alert people to what the hell's going on. And laugh at you. They put it in your face. It's right out there, you know. And you're one of the people that try to show people what's out there. And you wanted the few to do it. I mean, you got to keep doing this.
I never cared if anybody laughed.
I know, but you got to keep doing this because people need to be educated on this whole realm of stuff. I mean, we got to, you know, we got to get the Pervert Culture going. We got to have some fun too because you got to party. Because no point in being here for nothing. But you know, I'm telling you, you know, Free, you've got so much information in your head. We got to get it out there to the people.
That's all. Every last bit of it is on FreemanTV.com. You know, every thought I've ever had, everything's backed up. You just got to spend the time to do it. And you know, like within the article, Hollywood Mind Control, every other word is linked, and it's going to lead you down another rabbit hole. You know, go check out Kathy O'Brien. Go check out Bryce Taylor. Go check out the more mysterious, nefarious dealings of our pedophilic government. And it's all linked in there, you know. So the articles themselves, I expect you to take a month with by following all the links and the trails that's there. And then, of course, now I'm embedding all of the video to go with it so that it's kind of set up more categorically and easier to find your topics.
Well, you know what? You don't have a show schedule.
Yeah. But it's actually time for me to go.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, man. See you soon,
Thanks for joining us. Take care, dude.
Enjoy your night out with your friends, yeah?
Hey, don't tell Jamie to blame me. I gave you a dozen things to do.
Oh, okay, I will.
Hey, I want, you know, give her a hug.
Is
Give her a
Sonic
hug.
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Sonic, Monty.
Hello, Monty.
Wow, Monty.
We need you on the show soon. We need you on the show soon, brother.
Yeah, sounds good. But, yeah, glad I got to say hi. I think we're about to head out.
Well, have a great night, mate.
All right, thank you.
Have fun, guys.
You too.
Take care, y'all.
Good night, all. And with that, as I said, I actually got to run myself. So you guys have a wonderful evening. It was great talking to everybody. And we'll be in touch real soon, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you very much.
Man.
Have a great night, guys.
Hey, Alan, check it out on Facebook. Who's still here? I think Alan's gone. I think Freeman's gone. That was a great thing to bring in Freeman because he needs to get his stuff out there. You know, he really does.
Well, he's getting loads of hits.
You know, I know he's getting more stuff. And Sonic, you and Fried Chick and Steve get a lot of credit for that. You know, I'm serious. The Type 1 is reaching people. Even if it doesn't show up on the blog talk, people are copying it and sending it to other people. I know that for a fact. So you've been kicking butt, and you guys deserve a big e-hug all the way around.
E-hugs.
Quite a good show tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Steve, you're just awesome, too. Now, I don't know what the hell number I'm back up to, but Sonic sent me your thing, so become a friend. If you can't, just keep trying, because I'm pruning some deadwood. Dr. Turi, that he's all right, but Jesus, the asshole had like 5 IDs on my thing. So I'm throwing off some of the people that had multiple IDs and some people that are just deadwood. So I want you and Five Check to be, so I can send you guys stuff, okay?
Just let me check. I think maybe.
Yeah, well, I was down to 5. I was down to 4,996. Now I'm back up to 5. So I'm gonna have to kick off some other butthole. But I sent you a thing too. So go ahead and try it. Cause sometimes I can get up to 5,011. I just keep sliding them in. Screw Facebook. I don't care who it is.
Me and Five Check are on the what is it, Nick? The Type 1 Radio Line.
They are Sophia Type 1 Rad.
Yeah, that page is, you guys got to get all the people on there. Somebody's got to go on Friends of Freeman and do that. I just haven't had time to. And I don't mean to overpost stuff, but I just kept posting stuff to get conversations going. So, and I'm going to send an overall bulletin out to people, and some other people are going to do it too. So, we can use that as a way to let people know what's coming on the show. And Sonic, that was a cool idea. And you do have to get more of your music out, man. You kick butt.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out. I've got 2 releases coming out soon, so we've got the album and then I've got this other thing with the US label. sub-spec, so that'll be out there.
I get people on my page every day that want to hear, they want to know. So you make sure you get it on my on the Facebook page, and then I'll send it to some other pages too, because I'm in that Passion for Music and Stuff group, and there's like 100,000 people in that sucker. And man, we'll get it out there because you do some really cool stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, if anybody wants to go to iTunes or Beatport, you just need to type in Sonic A Gear and keep the royalty checks coming.
Are we going to keep staying on? Because I'm going to run to the bathroom for a minute.
Yeah. How long have we got?
Why doesn't everybody say who's still on? I don't think anybody knows who's on.
Just me, you, Caroline, and Reset. And Sonic.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, Karen, I think, was babysitting. That's why she couldn't get on. She was listening. I sent a note to her guy and some other people, and George was on for a while, and Eddie did listen. He drove all the way back again, like Superman again, back to, like I said, Texas, and he's in Austin. Maybe I'll see if I can get him to hook up with Freeman, because his mom's 76 years old, and she's moving, and she wanted him back there to do all that. And that's a good thing. He's going to get all that stuff straightened out. And he really is a good person. And we do have some people that really do want to sponsor the show, too, so I said, I want to sponsor the show. I want this free to people. Jeez, I don't want to be charging people to say, hey, you know, you got to subscribe to hear what we got to say. Bullshit. We're going to make enough money because what we're saying is interesting and fun.
Talking about interesting and fun, Reset, should we have a bit of a discussion about the strange sounds? Because you have sort of direct experience of this, don't you, mate?
Yeah, we can kind of do that. Yeah, well, I mean, besides Sonic, are any of you guys familiar with them?
Well, I listened to Alex Putney on Red Ice this week. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, so if people don't... let's see where I can...
Play them.
The first inning.
Yeah.
That's a haunting sound, if we've ever heard one. 1 ball, no strikes. And the bunt is foul. The count is 1-1.
And what could that possibly be? Somebody shut the door.
It sounds supernatural.
And there's also this one, which I think hasn't been debunked. You get the gist.
Yeah. What about this one?
Smoke weed every day.
That's the trumpets of God, isn't it?
So, Reset, what do we reckon those noises are?
Oh. Got a...
Hello?
Hello?
Me? Hello?
Hello, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. To me, a good portion of the ones I've heard sound like... I mean, someone made the point that, you know, people are supposed to be recording these with cell phones, right? You walk outside, and, I mean, a microphone on a cell phone is only so big. It's not going to be able to pick up some of those low frequencies that a lot of these videos have in them, which just makes them sound like they were added after the fact, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know. I came across that one that was in the baseball stadium, and that one, I mean, the announcers were talking about it, and I think Sonic, you had mentioned that it was an open air stadium, or no, it was a closed stadium, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a dome, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost think maybe that was, you know, the air whipping around through the halls or something, going through the stadium or something. But if it's a closed air stadium like that, you know, I mean, we've had the Metrodome here in Minneapolis, and I went to the game as a youngster, and I never heard a sound like that before.
Yeah.
And it just struck me that, you know, I mean, people talking about, you know, is that real or not? Well, I mean, the announcers were hearing it, and they were announcing it on live air.
And all the crowd cheered when it stopped. And they
But
tried
I
to
don't
give they tried to give an excuse that it was lightning hitting the lightning conductors.
Lightning?
Yeah, did you not hear that?
No, I hadn't heard that. I didn't really hear any explanation for the one in the baseball field. I just came across that clip and then kind of called it a night after that.
You looked at the Red Ice one, Alex Putnam?
No, I haven't heard that.
Check that.
Wait. Is that the one, Sonic, you sent me?
No, I didn't send you that one. I sent you the Mysterious Universe one.
Right, yeah. I knew I listened to something you had sent me, and lightning causing this sound didn't sound familiar.
Yeah, the Australian dudes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your experience with these strange sounds. Did you have one in your area?
Yeah, see, I don't know. The thing is, I mean, I've been experiencing this for years now. It's kind of been an on and off thing. And, you know, a lot of these sounds that are on YouTube kind of, like, just sound like someone sitting at a keyboard, maybe pounding out some sound effects or something. But no, the one in my area, there was one other video I found on YouTube that looked kind of similar, where it was more like a constant tone, like a single pitch, rather than a bunch of weird sound effects kind of sounding things. Like it sounds like a dinosaur on Jurassic Park or something, or the sound on Lost from the woods. A lot of these videos do. Yeah, but like I said, no, the one in my area has been just kind of a constant tone that shifts octaves on occasion. They're not random tones at all, you know. And it's weird because since I've been talking about this with you, Sonic, the other day, I haven't heard it since.
We've exercised it.
Yeah, who knows? But no, I've been waiting around for it to come back on so I can try and record it to see if it's actually going to come across.
On your new phone.
But yeah, I don't know. I know. Yeah, it was Dude Face was talking about getting a meter to measure it, and I'd like to get something to, because like I said, it seems so non-directional. You stand in one place and you think you have it pinned down. You start walking that way, and it sounds like it's coming from the opposite direction.
Right.
And that's kind of one of the things they get into in some of these, you know, the more real-looking videos, I guess, is that it just. Well, I guess even in the fake ones they mention it too, that it sounds like it's coming from basically everywhere. And the one that I noticed that sounded kind of like my issue, where it's more of a constant tone, the guy was saying that, you know, the dogs in the area were flipping out, and the dogs in my area just seem to bark at the wind sometimes. I don't know.
So there's something going on in the higher frequencies there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I'd like to find some way to monitor that and see if I can actually peg down where the source is rather than depending on my own human ears, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So, are they called EMP? Is it EMP?
Yeah, what about them?
Is that what it's called? Is that what you're after then? The dude face was talking about.
An EMF meter, you know about
an EMF.
Yeah, I think it was an EMF meter. Though I thought Jay was talking that there was a meter that you could switch between like EMF and SPL, you know, sound pressure levels and stuff. And I'd like to find one that has maybe multiple settings like that, but I'm not sure how cheap something like that's going to be.
It sounds expensive. The EMF things are about $30, aren't they? Like a reasonable standard one, I believe.
Yeah, I think Jay was saying that it wouldn't cost more than something like $30 at Radio Shack is where you'd probably be able to get the best deal. Well, hey, here's another S subject. You guys heard about the shaking women on the East Coast?
No.
Shaking women.
Shaking women.
Yeah, in America, and I think it's New Jersey. There's this thing where they're speculating it was a chemical spill 40 years ago that's causing this, but I don't know. On TV, I've seen 5-6 girls that have this thing where they kind of look like they have Tourette's or something, where they just kind of all of a sudden jerk, and it's kind of uncontrollable. And they're saying, these are all girls that are in high school, and they're saying that they had caught it from this pond that they were all swimming in or something. But then all of a sudden, a couple days ago, there was like a 34 or 30ish or 40ish year old woman that came out saying the same thing, and they're saying that she possibly swam in the same pond when she was younger.
Grim.
Yeah, but the only thing is, okay, these high school girls that it's happening to, they're swimming in the pond now. I mean, unless this 30, 40-year-old woman was swimming in the pond at the same time, how is her swimming in the pond when she was young going to affect her now at the same time it's affecting these children it's affecting now,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it was Dr. Drew on CNN was saying that, this is just some kind of mass hysteria or something.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things where, it happens to one person and then it happens to a couple people they know, and then people just keep hearing about it and just kind of repeats itself or something.
What, so they're faking it?
Yeah. Well, possibly. I don't know. Conversion order is what I wrote down, is what they're calling it. But, no, I mean, you look at them, and these girls are just sitting there, and, all of a sudden their arm will fly up and over their head, and they'll, move to the side, and just then go back and sit like normal, and just every now and again they'll start twitching, and I guess I don't think they're suing for anything. I mean, I don't see them getting any kind of gain out of it, so I don't know why they'd be faking it.
Yeah. Odd. Strange.
Yes, it is strange. So is anyone else still around, or is it just us three?
I'm listening to you, and really, you've done a lot of good stuff. I mean, the sounds have been heard everywhere from Nova Scotia to Quebec to Montreal to Vancouver. I've got at least 100 sites in America. The Ukraine's heard it all over the place. Romania's heard it. Moscow's heard it. There's places in China. There's places in Vietnam. There's a whole lot of shit going on. But some of these things, I actually do think that some of that's the decompressing of some underground bunkers, some of these dome facilities. And then they try to actually cover it with, like you were talking about, sitting at a keyboard stuff. They're sitting at a keyboard trying to cover up the real noise, okay? So I really do think a lot of that has to do with some of the underground, because, every once in a while you have to vent that stuff, because they're pressurizing and repressurizing, and all those noises are coming up. But let's face it, the elite are getting ready to cover their ass. They've been doing that forever. I mean, that's why you've got places in Turkey and Inca caves and Mexico, and then the place all over America where there's been stuff underground. And my God, the Germans went insane. Besides what they built in the Antarctica, I mean, half of Germany's underground, for God's sake. I just think you did some great stuff. I didn't realize you'd done all that research. We should have put that in the first 2 hours. You did some really good stuff.
Well, we never got to the whole S thing.
Well, you know what? We got all week. We need to put it back on again, Well, you know what? We need to have you talk about this stuff in a show during the week, too,
Well, it's funny. Me and Sonic were talking about, the whole S thing. We were talking about doing maybe like a podcast. Each one gets an alphabet, do like 26 little mini podcasts, each with their own letter.
Yeah. I mean, you just think of crazy shit about that letter.
Well, one letter per person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, one letter per podcast.
Per podcast, yeah. That's more like it.
Oh, that's cool. We got, well, that's where, when
That'll take 27 days to do that, won't it?
But, this would be something people want to talk about. You get on, get on the podcast, and like I said, the thing Fredo was talking about, I want to have it live so that we can say to people, okay, you go record this. I mean, you're going to get fakes and bullshit and stuff like that, and you're going to get this info, too. But it's amazing what you might get. That's how people got UFO pictures, by saying send them in. You know?
Can anyone
I mean,
remember
yeah.
what Freighter's steampunk thing was?
I'll check it out.
Can anyone write it down?
I've got him to put it on Facebook.
Just put it on Facebook.
Yeah. So hopefully you'll do that.
Did he not say he had a link on his site?
Yeah.
For what?
There might. I don't quote me. There might be.
For what? You said I missed something. What are we talking about?
On there.
No, for the streampunk thing he was talking about. Or is it not set up yet? Was that just something he was thinking about?
No, I think he said he set it up already, didn't he?
Oh, if nothing else, we can go to his Facebook page and on Friend of Freeman and ask him. So, I mean, there's all kinds of ways we can find out. I know we can't get him tonight. He's probably going to be tied up with the Super Bowl tomorrow, but, there's so many different stories. Like I said, there's 4 different other networks, just radio, internet streams, which are also both audio and video, and somebody else wanted to do another TV network, and I really like the Oconus ones, because actually a lot of stuff outside of America wants to do more information. We're so damn controlled, it's ridiculous. People keep thinking, I said the Nazis lost the war and won the peace. I mean, Jesus, we've become really the Fourth Reich, like Jim Mars and everybody says.
So next week on the show, if everything works out, which I'm sure it will do, we've got Darren Diogi to come on, who's fucking great. I don't know whether you've all seen, he's like a YouTube sort of series almost. It's called The System, and it's just this guy going around England.
I just downloaded that whole thing.
Yeah, well, he's in that. Darren, he's in the. He's a Scottish guy. He's like talking and he's.
That's that guy you threw my way, right? I downloaded that whole series he's in. That's awesome.
Yeah. So he's coming on next week. I spoke to him this week, and he's really excited to come on. And we're going to get him down to Brighton to do a talk, and then come on the show again, sort of live in the studio down at Steve's. That'd be great, wouldn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. Some good Type 1 activity.
Yeah.
Going down for sure. Now we can ask him to go on the TV show.
Yeah, so his whole thing is sort of making people aware of the People's Public Trust, where we hold public officials to account for their either actions or their inactions, and get them to be as they are our employees. And so, I mean, that goes for myself when I'm in my capacity as of my work. So things like that. So it should be a good show next week. As we've got a little bit of an S thing going, let's have a little smoke break and play Schwongel and Star Spangled Banner.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good. Sorry, I'm just having a falafel.
Nice. Oh, that sounds good. Send one over.
Okay.
What, in pita bread or just its own?
No, just in out the bag.
Alright. Are you dipping it in any...
No.
No?
No, I'm just chomping away on the dryness of the chickpeas and...
Hey, without your wife, we need to have you. You see, if you guys need to travel over here, I'm actually a very good cook. Not because I am, but because both of my grandmothers and my mom and my aunts were great cooks. I did, and my dad too. I just shut up and watch. And I like to eat. Anybody who likes to eat likes to cook.
Well, Pie Chick's about the best cook I've ever met in my life.
Oh, you married the right. You married the right woman. If you ever get tired of her, I'll come on.
Want to have a cook-off?
Sounds good to me. Of course, I promised to have a sex change for Nick, but what can I say?
I'm quite happy with Howard, thank you very much.
Hey, that might actually help if I take Steve. You get out of the picture. I have a sex change. I can take care of everything. This would be good. Steve, you just leave. I'll have a sex change. I'll come to Brighton and I'll take care of business, basically.
We are still recording this now.
Thank God for the podcast. Yeah, there goes my livelihood in Missouri. Oh God.
Have you read the Sync book yet, Caroline?
Wait, what? Sorry.
Have you read the Sync book yet?
Oh yeah, I've got it here. Alan sent me a free one. That's the freebies of being online.
What about you know Steve Wilner?
Yeah.
Did you read his page? His chapter, brother.
I can open it up. I'm actually in the dark right now, but I got the book. Where the hell did I put the book? I got the book right here. I can open it up.
Go to page 280.
Hang on, hang on. It's 6:30, almost 6:13. It's dark. Let me turn the light thing on so I can see what I'm reading. I'm standing in the dark. Actually, I have it. You guys are on top of a table, on top of a bookshelf. So you guys are like 13 feet off the ground. I swear to God, I'm on my tiptoes. And I've got to close the blinds so nobody can see because I'm like half dressed here before I turn the light on. It's the advantage of being in a hotel. And I'm by myself, so I'm walking around here a little bit impromptu here. All right.
We're used to it.
I got a sleep shirt on. I got the sleep shirt on, and even though I want to get some free beer, I don't want to get everybody in the hotel excited. Find out where it's giving the book. Oh, wow, the book. Well, you tell me what you were going to say while I look for the book.
Well, it was just some Steve Wilner. If you're familiar with his work, he does
it's great.
Numerology and the sort of power of language, be it written or spoken sort of thing. But he's quite out there. And he reckons that Kansas City, Missouri actually stands for Snake City Misery.
Well, you got to understand, nobody on the west side of Missouri says it right. It's supposed to be, they call it Missouri. This is Missouri. But you know what? Missouri really is. This is a good segue because Missouri really is a center ground. That's why Angela Joyner, and I sent Sonic some stuff on Facebook, and Steve, I'll send you guys as soon as you get off your butt and friend me on Facebook. But Missouri really is this weird crux's point because, first of all, New Madrid is going to kick ass and really break open. But you've got a lot of people coming here from Mark Twain to Tennessee Williams. And Mark Twain worked very, very closely with Tesla, and a lot of people don't know that. And you got people like the creepy asses like Walker, as in George Walker Bush, very powerful in St. Louis, still very powerful in St. Louis. And Missouri was very instrumental with the civil rights and even going all the way back to the Civil War because, there was all the Dred Scott thing. And this was one of those border states that had all kinds of things going on. And even my beloved show Supernatural even knew that Carthage, Missouri was, the war in the Civil War here was called the War of Hell because it was so bizarre. And a lot of Americans don't know that the Civil War was the Civil War had nothing to do with freeing the slaves. That was something later brought on. The British and French bankers were fighting over it because they wanted to break up the United States and get their pieces back because they actually knew there was a lot of wealth here. And people don't know that when people came over from England and France, and there were Germans here too, they got in the whole Ohio Valley. There were over 5,000 miles, and there were millions of people living there. When Cortez came up from the south, up from the Mississippi, okay, Arkansas, if you go down there, which is a useless state, God gave us Billary, the two of them should be shot and hung. The place is full of petroglyphs and all kinds of stuff, because actually Arkansas sits on top of a huge volcanic caldera that nobody talks about. That's why you got hot springs, duh. But, there were like 2 million people living in Arkansas. The state of Georgia and Mississippi had Mayan culture from Maya, but it was better than Mayan, because they weren't, ripping the hearts out of people. Those were the people that said they're Mayan, but they were fed up with their 1% elite. that's the only thing I don't like about this 2012 Mayan calendar bullshit. Because I'm like, I don't want to worship any theocracy where people got to rip out hearts, drink blood, you know, and cut people's penises because they think that's going to get them to some altered state. I'm like, well, you cut anybody's willy, you're going to go in an altered state. That doesn't mean shit. You don't need a priest to do that. But you go to Georgia, Mississippi, you have Mayan culture that built upon the old Mayan stuff in Mexico, but they left the 1% behind. There's huge mounds there. And see, St. Louis, not here where I'm at, I'm in Columbia, but St. Louis and Columbia, not Columbia, but Cahokia, that whole area, you know, there were like 5 million Indians living there. And it's like, there was this huge culture here, and it's like, okay, you got these morons that are, you know, giving measles and chickenpox and smallpox out to, you know, they came over from New England and down through the, you know, the Great Lakes, and they spread it out. Then you got Cortez and all these jerks coming up to the Mississippi. I mean, they must have killed easily like 10 million indigenous Indians that, you know, had nothing to do with ripping out hearts. They lived very peacefully. There was something here. If you go to Ohio, there's the snake mounds that it's amazing. And it's got this snake, and it's like swallowing, and he said swallowing an egg. No, if you look at it, and you look at the image, it's actually swallowing the earth. So, I mean, it ties into David Icke with the reptilian shit. And there's a place outside of Quebec where they found the pillow of Jacob that goes into the Old Testament and the Torah and the Quran. And that was being shipped back to France, and then the British fleet came and got it, one of the admirals, took it back to England. I mean, people just really do not know the history. And I'm like sitting in this weird location where, I mean, geez, you got Ashcroft coming here, and Rove was here that, you know, got Bush in place. I mean, you know, I'm really going to go live. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm excited, aren't I?
I've got a special Type 1 announcement to make. I've got just got the message through from Ladybug. She wishes everybody a happy Saturday.
Hey, Ladybug.
Hey, Ladybug. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're sending Ladybug and Mr. Lobo all our love from the Type 1 crew here.
Well, she got him tied down or what?
I don't know.
Probably. Hopefully.
Well, somebody should. Hey, where is Howard?
He's working tonight.
Well, when are we ever going to get to talk to Howard? I want to tell him how lucky he is.
Well, Howard's thinking of, once the spring comes in, he's thinking about doing an allotment show.
Oh.
Called something like Howard's Horticultural Show.
Oh, that's just too good. Him and Fajik could do that together, actually.
Yay! And we could have videos from the allotments and everything.
Hey, when's Debbie getting home, Steve?
In blah 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 blah. 8 hours.
Yeah. Howard finishes about 7:30. So,
yeah, 8 hours, Caroline.
Oh, okay. Are you sure the two of them aren't having an affair?
It could be.
You know, at least they're a little cheeky over there, don't you think? You know, you guys are always stirring up something over there. Who's the guy that got Freeman to come on? God, somebody needs a hug for that. That's awesome. Well, you know what, Steve? You now screwed him at 5,000, so you waited too long, Lum. I gotta dump some more.
Oh
deadwood.
No!
I gotta dump some more deadwood. I couldn't believe Dr. Turi had like 6 names under here. I'm like, what the hell? He always keeps trying to post shit, and I delete it all the time. Like, oh, fuck.
Are you allowed to have 5,000 friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can go. Sometimes I've gone as high as like 5,011. You can go to a celebrity status, but see, if you do that, then you can't have the interaction you have with a friend. I want the friend stuff. Screw that celebrity shit. That's bullshit. I just keep telling everybody to, you know, hammer them that they want to have like 10,000 friends. I mean, there's just 6 billion people on the goddamn planet, and that's only on this planet. So, what the hell's with the 5,000 limit? That's bullshit.
Are you going to get Are you going to buy some Facebook shares?
No, fuck no.
Apparently,
they're going to give you some.
I don't know. If they give me some, I'll take it. But I don't have any extra cash, and I wouldn't give the CIA a fucking bum dollar. You kidding me? I wouldn't give them a what's an old sixpence. You guys don't even use them, do you?
No.
I'll give them
like 620 million in shares.
Well, you know, they really should pay me. I recommend them enough to go on my page. But, you know, I have to admit, what I like is you can reach the whole gosh darn planet. Now, realize, yeah, they're going to, once they want to do it, they're going to shut it down. But see, the thing is, once we can get people, and then we can get this network of radio stations that are free, none of the subscription shit, we'll be able to reach people worldwide, which is why they don't teach Morse code in any of the military anymore. You know, they don't want to teach anybody how to do any of this, you know, ham radio stuff anymore. Or, you know, but, you know, if we do this right, and people like, you know, whether Anonymous is real or whether Assange is real, any of these guys are real, but if we just keep throwing up servers, and we pester these rich assholes like, you know, Brad Pitt and Angelina the bitch Jolie, and, you know, everybody rich we know, and say, well, really, if you're really scared, then put out some servers out there and start helping small business people get up radio stations and coffee houses for Mater, and so that, you know, you guys can actually have free time to do nothing but else but the radio, and Sonic can do his music full time.
Have you heard what Julian Assange wants to do with WikiLeaks?
He's got a deal right now with Russian TV. He's going to get a show with them, and that'll pay some.
No. What he's doing with WikiLeaks, as in they're trying to shut them down, so down the servers in each of the countries. But he's going to take it out to like an old World War II like station in the little.
That's why